Hello everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Today and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with Heavenly Delusion. 15 years ago, disaster struck human civilization, and now dangerous man-eating monsters roam the ravaged lands, posing an existential threat to the remaining survivors. And sorry for being late, folks. We got distracted again.
It's the moment we open our mouths, that's it, boom, horror, and we forget everything else.
Yeah, we just went on a massive tangent there before we went because that's the thing. You just happen to be here. We're here to chat and talk shit. You know, the podcast happens to be
review secondary. Let's talk horror.
But tonight we are in easy mode because, oh my god, like compared to Boogie Pop. By the way, folks, this is light reading to try and get my head around freaking Boogie Pop Phantom, right? Yeah, because we have another one coming up on the list. So I thought between now and then, hopefully if it comes up next, I'm stuffed. But if I have a bit of a break, I might actually have some backstory to get my head around that one.
Books, right, just so you know, the books won't make it any easier. But I'm glad that after Boogie Pop we got something a bit easier to understand.
Oh god, I tell you what though, it's really hard to stop this. So there's 13 episodes, so we're going to do the first 7 tonight, but I wanted to keep going. I was like, I want to see where the story goes.
It's a really good, really easy to understand anime with a really good story. I've been waiting since when was this? 2002, 2003. I've been waiting for the past couple of years for the second series to come out. Because the second series should be enough to actually like finish the story off and get to the end.
Yeah.
If anyone from Japan is listening,
yeah, get going, get it happening. But there's definitely, so we know that just a premise of what's going on. There was a singular event. Something happened to the world. Now we don't know what the event was exactly at this stage of watching the first 7 episodes. We do know that there's been a manifestation of these man-eaters, these creatures. We don't know what they are, where they're from, or anything else. We don't know if they caused the catastrophe or they're an advent of it or whatever else. We just know that the world basically, we're looking at end of era, Mad Max 1, sort of civilization hasn't quite got the Mad Max 2, but they're still clinging on. Society still remembers how it was. There's still people, a generation, remember society before it's collapsed.
Yeah, but it's only the anime is set. It's only 15 years have passed since the disaster. We don't know if it's an environmental catastrophe. We don't know if it's war. We don't know if it's disease. It gives you the only
extraterrestrial could be anything.
It's like there's these weird man-eaters roaming around.
Yep, and people are sort of picking through the bones of the previous world, doing the best, and we're seeing that the evolution into tribalism, people going back to their base instincts, while still trying to maintain some sort of, civilization, not trying to collapse completely. And there's this external threat. But there's 2 sides of the story. You've got the world, and then you've got this place that's colloquially known as heaven, which reminds me of, do you know the film The Island with Ewan McGregor and what's her face? I'm getting those sort of vibes from it.
It's kind of like it is, because it's like you've got the 2 main characters are in the outside world, and then you've got like a third character. I'm thinking of Tokyo here. Mm-hmm. It's like you've got a third character who's kind of like in this shut away world that it might be a building, it might be underground, we don't know, but it's just kind of like this underground facility where a bunch of children are being raised.
Yeah, and it's a school environment, but it's essentially run by robots.
Yeah, it's like this. And
we do have a group of overseers.
Yeah, what I'm going to say, what exactly is the human staff's purpose in that place?
I think it's well,
I'm asking all the questions, I have all the answers, but I'm not going to share any of them.
it's an experiment. There's a, I mean, it's like a medical facility or a research facility. There's something going on here, and they're the ones that run it. And I think it's more to provide emotional, like a human contact for the kids.
But it's like you very it's like the only person you really see, like the only people you see around the children, though, like the doctors when they're ill, maybe the director.
The director comes in if something's gone serious.
Yeah, because it's like at the end. Is it the end of the first one where it's like the director is there in a wheelchair and there's two people standing next to her? Because Tokyo and Minihime are talking about what's it's like what's outside the outside. Because it's like the facility has a garden, and at the end of like the garden, there's just this huge concrete wall. Everything is covered from floor to ceiling.
They never show us the ceiling. I noticed that. We'll never get a direct look up at the ceiling, so we don't know, is it open sky, is it a dome, is it glass, is it concrete? We don't see that. I think that's deliberate. It's deliberately ambiguous about what heaven exactly is. And we'll get drip fed this the whole way through.
It does its job very well. It does its job very well.
And this is this is why we were really late, because we were talking about this. We're sorry. This was my frustration with the last Boogie Pop Phantom we watched. We don't get a clear story. We're not getting things unraveled. It's all over the place, and it's hard to follow. This, at least, we know not everything's getting revealed from the. It's the mysteries being solved as we go along, but we're getting drip fed little bits of information so we can pick up.
I think the big difference is the fact that this is based directly off the manga of the same name. Whereas like Boogie Pop Phantom is an original story. Based within what? Heavenly Delusion.
Shit.
This is dangerous.
This is caused to be money.
You are bleeding money because of these reviews. It's like, right then, I've watched this. Now I need to read it.
I need to know more. God damn it!
I've got to be. If I buy any more, my bookshelves are going to collapse. They really are. You can see where they're bending.
Oh dear.
The hot weather isn't helping.
Yeah, because they're not exactly small volumes. It's not like you're.
No, these are what they call tankobon. So each volume is about the size of like about the size of like your average novella kind of size. Not like the huge thumping great things that like the collector's editions or the Akira box set, which weighs an absolute ton.
Our main story, however, we're following Haruki and Muru. So we know these two worlds are going to converge at some point.
Yes.
Muru is looking for heaven, which we've got a glimpse of. And he has Karuki as his bodyguard.
I like they are such a great pair. They work so well together.
Oh, without a doubt.
They've got absolutely no clue, but they are kind of like the Smith and Jones of this world. It's kind of weird that although like Kuruko is looking for heaven, doesn't actually know where it is, what it looks like, what it entails. He's just been told. He's been told by a third party that he needs to find it. And when he goes there, he will find a person there who has the same face as he does. Bit of a head scratcher there.
Yeah, we'll sort of see that character. It's not called. It's the older one with the short hair who. What is Tokyo? It's Tokyo.
I get names.
Tokyo with short hair.
Tokyo is the kid with the really short, spiky blonde hair in the school in heaven.
Yes, I think that's the one Muru is going to meet.
Yes,
or being directed to meet.
Maru. I actually wrote notes about which one was which. Maru is the one who needs to go there.
Yeah. This isn't, like I said, this is, they're playing the same thing. It's meant to be deliberately ambiguous, but I think it's a lot easier to follow this one.
It's definitely a lot easier than Boogie Pop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this one actually has it has basically at the moment it has like two plots. The thing is though, they're completely separate and you can follow them.
That's it. And we know they're going to converge. That's
we know
where we're being led.
We
and I don't mind.
Yeah, they are. We know that sometime in the future that the two of them are at least going to cross paths. But it's like Boogie Pop had half a dozen different plot lines, each of which was doing its own thing. Knots, tangles.
And we never got the payoff.
I still love
the actual incident.
I still love Boogie Pop. Yeah, but the payoff for the actual incident is kind of like in the main series, which is the problem. So it's like, whereas this main series continues on and just goes like, bang, that's the end of the story. Boogie Pop Phantom just kind of like whimpers and falls over at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very unsatisfactory ending.
No, but I thought, unless they really mess up with the last couple of episodes, I don't see this one going this way, which I'm glad, because I need something linear. I needed something linear after that.
Please just give me something with plot.
Something that goes from A to B, please. And our characters get somewhere. That would be nice.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're the only disappointment. Like I say, the only disappointment you will have is the fact that this is only like one season. The
so there's going to be a cliffhanger at the end of this.
The payoff hasn't been given yet.
Right. Well, that's fair enough.
It was a big success. People loved it, so it's just a matter of waiting until they turn around and say, Heavenly Delusion season 2 now in production. When it comes out, I'm going to post it everywhere.
Might have to bump that one up last then.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a funny, because Karuki is the sort of streetwise, bodyguard, knows everything.
She's the big sister character.
Yep. But then she goes and grabs random plants, doesn't taste one, and throws them into food.
She's pretty sure they're the right plants.
Have you ever heard the rule when you're foraging, if you come across something you're not too sure about?
Yeah, rub it against your lip.
One of the, like here, a soft part of the skin, rub it against that. If it doesn't cause a reaction, put a bit inside your mouth. There's a bit of a process, so you can gather the stuff up, maybe keep it for next time, but now it's just like fudunk.
They looked a bit like dandelions. I'm just saying they were dandelions.
Mm-hmm. But you can have dandelion stuff, but I'm trying to think what's absolutely horrendous. So you can nettles or like grass, chucking a bunch of grass in. It doesn't matter. It ruins your.
This is fine. This is fine. Whatever it was a bit bitter, which makes me think dandelions.
I love the anime. I think I've mentioned this. The other one. I love the way anime does the reactions to food. Like it's borderline orgasmic whenever an anime character likes something that they eat.
I can name right. Believe it or not, food and cookery is its own genre of anime. There are totally anime cooking shows out there.
I could believe it. God,
Don't believe it.
John Demon Slayer, the guy that's like tasty, and
yeah.
There was like a whole scene of him just eating noodles and having an orgasm. It's a funny thing. I still haven't finished Delicious in Dungeon yet. But
see, I was going to use that as an example.
Yeah. It's season 2. I didn't really. Season 2 is a bit.
Yes, season 2 is a lot. Season 2 is quite a bit darker and not quite as like fun-loving as the original season.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Like season 1 had a purpose.
Yeah.
You had busy go and rescue his sister or his mom.
Go and rescue Fallon. Whereas like season 2 is kind of like other things with no spoilers, but they're going after the Mad Magician. So it's basically the Mad Magician.
Because Fallon was turned into a Griffin.
Spoilers, come on.
Everyone's watched it.
Are you
It's not been out for a while.
Are you
Or
saying?
is this new?
I was gonna say, are you saying that Chris has watched Delicious in Dungeon?
Probably.
He might be here. You never know. You might never know. Dell's here. Are you sure that like Dell has watched Delicious in Dungeon?
Probably not, but I don't think she's going to. I think it might be a wee bit off the wall for her.
Finish your book, by the way, Dell. I really enjoyed it.
Yep. Loads of good reviews coming in.
I'm terrible at writing. Every single review I write sounds so fake. I haven't got the knack of writing reviews.
All somebody needs to do is go, I really enjoyed this. Good collection stories. That's it. You know, everyone thinks I have to write some sort of masterpiece.
Yeah, I always feel like I've got to critique every story in the book.
No, it's just
I end up with like 3 pages and nobody reads that.
Believe it or not, just as simple. Really enjoyed this collection. Such and such. Maybe if there's a particular story was your favorite, blah blah was my favorite. That's it. And believe it or not, see the amount of help that gives an author. You know, just in terms, it's like doing the typey clicky things on these videos, like hitting the like button and sharing them around and commenting. It tells the algorithm this thing's, you should watch this thing or you should read this thing because people like it. Leaving a review is massive.
I'll leave my reviews. Hang on a minute, I'm just clicking like. Boop.
Okay, so no spoilers yet, but Volume 2 is already in the planning. We've already started work on it.
Nice.
It's this year's going to be amazing. Like
it seems to have gone by so fast.
Yeah, and
because it's like it seems like only the other day that you were going like, oh yeah, Horrific Tales Volume 1 is going to be out in a couple of months' time, and now three's on the horizon. Crazy Tales is coming out. Dell's first book is out.
I just feel like this year, and plus the stuff we've covered, it's just been like holding on by my fingertips and going, whoa, 2025.
You need to sell all the things so you can afford all 11 volumes of Heavenly.
Yeah, that's it. Any profit that if I ever make personal profit from the publishing side, it's going to be going to buying the manga stuff. Manga will thank you.
Without a doubt, you can probably find it online. But that involves like sitting with a tablet or in front of your PC and reading it, and I hate.
Yeah, that's why I like physical books.
Yeah,
because I spend a lot of time in front of these screens, and I need to step away. That's my sort of step away time.
Yeah,
put music in the background, leave the phone somewhere in another room, and veg out for a couple of hours.
Switch everything off, and just kind of like flop face down on the sofa with a book.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now my birds come and try and eat the book. My birds hate me reading. I don't know, for some reason when I start reading, they're like straight over back.
Because you're not paying attention to them, you see.
But yeah, anyway, back to Heavenly Delusion. Why everybody came here?
It's like, damn it, that's it. We're reviewing Heavenly Delusion. I forgot all about that.
That won't be the first time. Yeah, I'm liking the journey Karuka and Muru are going on. I have to say, they're really exemplifying the sort of journey through the wastelands, and like they're the point of view characters showing how this world is. Like they meet the first group of inbreds, which is going to happen in post-apocalyptic, where you're going to get these groups of predators that look for easy targets.
You got to be honest. For a group of bandits intending to like maybe rob them or maybe murder and rob them, they are so laid back.
And it's all very polite, as if no harm, no foul sort of thing at the end of it when they get their obviously heads kicked in.
It's the moment when you realise that like damn it, Mao is a good fighter.
Almost supernaturally good.
It's like you see the guys there laughing and joking and catching sight with the glances of like Kyoko. You don't expect him to be like a kung fu expert.
Yep, but it was all the There's all the stuff afterwards, like, oh, yeah, no problem. And by the way, now that we're just beating the pulp out of you, could you show us where blah 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 is? Yeah, no problem over that way.
We're not going to mention the water pistol.
Hmm?
The water pistol. Kiruka's gun.
Is it?
The Kiru beam.
Yeah, that was like.
It's like okay, it's like right. It's 15 years after a disaster, but how far into the future is this disaster? Because that girl's got a laser gun you wouldn't believe.
With a AA rechargeable battery that powers it.
Yeah, with like a AA rechargeable battery that holds 4, maybe 5 shots, depending on the temperature.
Yep. I'm glad that didn't become the solve all. That could have been the solve every problem device. They could have fallen in that trap, or they make it all about the gun firing or not firing. They use it properly, but not overuse it.
Yeah, there's plenty of animes out there where like you've got a sword or a gun or a car, tank, giant robot, something like that, which solves the problem. It's like it saves the day every time, but not in this, and that is so good. Because I like the scenes where they have to talk their way out of trouble.
Yeah, it doesn't go formulaic. Every problem gets solved the same way. They're encountering different types of people. Not everyone is hostile, but people are hostile in different ways. And yeah, we're getting an introduction to this world.
Yeah, because it's like the local inbreds. This gang, they're not evil. They're just like poor, hungry, down on their luck.
Everything's been scavenged that could be more or less.
So it's like they're not evil. They're just trying to make their way in the world in the only way they can think of. Yeah,
because you can imagine like the first 5 years, all the shops were raided, but that they're only finite resources once you don't have assembly production or means of farming. So you could see nobody set up real farmsteads or anything, the first 5 years, and then that's their death problems. And then people had to like figure out and reinvent.
Oh yeah, but it's oh god, isn't an old saying something like before civilization can regrow, first it has to burn, or something like that, by someone whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. I honestly think I think it's a really good, realistic depiction of like what would happen to society if the end came.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it wouldn't just crash. It'd be kind of like a slow spiral. The first panic could be when everybody realizes that the mobile phones won't connect.
Well, of a certain generation, because those of us that are old enough would be like, all right, okay.
Yeah, but this is why I can't understand why they're getting rid of all the.
So we'd be walking past all the 30-year-olds curled up in balls.
How do I update my status? No, my imaginary electronic friends won't be able to love me anymore. But this is like I can't understand why they're getting rid of landlines, because if the power goes off and you need to talk to someone, you just like plug the landline in, which generates its own power.
Oh, are you telling me that people don't think ahead and only think to the end of their nose?
And
it's only when in the face of disaster that people course correct?
I know. It's kind of like it's one of those things where you just kind of sit and be like, there's no way that'd happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
It's like just imagine the horror that you will feel when you walk into your room and you press the button on your PC and nothing happens.
That's happened to me. Do you not remember like a couple of months ago when things went well?
Yeah, but did you panic or did you run around the room screaming freedom? I mean, or maybe both.
I kind of went into, oh shit, I've got stuff to do, and then went into problem solving mode. And yeah, see, the thing is, though I've never worked in IT, I've loads of IT mates and I've worked with IT people, so I've been taught the basics. If that makes sense.
There is.
So I can problem solve. I can troubleshoot to a certain point.
There is a line in another anime on the list which we haven't covered yet. Bucket List of the Dead. Zombie 100, yes. Which has got the greatest reaction to like the zombie apocalypse ever. It's like there's zombies everywhere. How am I going to get to work on time? How am I going to get to work on time? Oh wait, it's zombie apocalypse. I don't have to go to work, and he parties.
Yeah.
See, it's like that's how it will hit. That's how it will hit people, and then it will like slowly devolve into like, wait, how am I going to eat? Oh my god, my favorite restaurant's closed. How can
Yeah,
I get
once all the
food?
restaurants, once all the supermarkets have been raided,
Mm.
and people have gorged themselves initially and run out, then this is what we're going to see. This is the tail end of that.
Then at the end, it's going to be like a 5-year-old tin of princess stewing steak chunks and dandelions in a pot.
Yep. The smarter ones will have already moved out, got their herb garden set up, and grabbed the seeds, etc., etc.
It's
My problem is I have a black thumb.
oh. See,
I can only look after the hardiest of plants.
Well, fortunately, when we get to the farm, they're growing a hardy plant.
Yes, the hotel.
It's
Did you see that coming or what?
Oh wait, the not the hotel. Farther on, when they get to the place that grows tomatoes.
Oh, tomato heaven. Yeah, when they cross over. Yeah, that's
Gotta be honest, tomato heaven.
happy commune.
But that's kind of like that's.
But in this episode, we get the hotel, which is slightly out in the sticks, which has a small garden, and it's all a bit too nice, and the owner's a bit too friendly. When we've just had the contrast between the inbreds, gangs running about. Like I said, there's different types of predation in the world.
I'm gonna say, do you think it's kind of like it? Do you think it's kind of bad that you go for like gangs picking on people and like the urban decay and the buildings falling down and streets cracking with plants growing out? You go out into the country and there's this like nice little hotel thing, and the woman's like, "Oh, wonderful guests! Please come and stay. It's so nice to have people after this some time." And instantly, like the red lights, instantly in your head, the red light starts flashing.
Yeah,
we'd be watching too much horror. We have. It's like,
yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, we could just see us coming, but I think the first episode is just an introduction to the world.
it was. It's like the hotel scene is nicely telegraphed to the point where it doesn't surprise you whatsoever when it happens. And I've got to be honest, I absolutely love that because it gives you an idea of what the entire series is going to be like. Because yes, there's horror in there. I actually think it's more of a mystery than a horror. It's like it's a horror mystery, but also you can have.
Hold on, people are getting bitten in half and like munched, and there's all sorts of gnarly stuff going on in the meantime. You know what I mean? This is the horror aspect. There's no messing about.
But also boob jokes.
Yes.
It's got that horny energy.
Oh, without a doubt. Like not no top Mariko-chan. Like honestly, I thought I was going to have to place myself in a register after watching that.
That was
like I already had doubts of, oh shit, I'm a bad person. I am thinking things. I need to go like register myself and not be near civilization.
That was a completely different level of horror.
Yeah, that's like, oh dear, I might end up working for the BBC type horror. Anyway, I might have to fill in the application form. That was like as close to the knuckle as I ever want to get with a.
Hello, is that the Epstein estate? Boy, have I got an anime for you.
This is understandable. And then when we get the plot point drop later on, you're like, all right, okay. This is going to be like confusing, but.
Yeah, because it's one of the gang members who mentions the hotel and the monster. Just after Kiriko, at gunpoint, has asked them if she can recharge a battery using their generator.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That scene was.
It's like that. That is kind of like that is that when you get to that point, it's pretty much everything you need to know about this. She held them at gunpoint while she recharged the battery. What was the battery for?
The gun.
The gun.
And I love the way they're just like, oh, darn.
It's the moment when she puts the battery in the gun and you see like the light bulbs go on in their eyes, and they're like, "You little shit."
Yeah, but they've already been beaten up. Like,
It's
they
not
don't
so-
need the gun. Kirk, Murray already slapped them around. So,
Yeah, but why have a bunch of like arsehole gang members? Such nice guys. I mean, they're the kind of guys where if you had to kill them, you'd feel sorry about it afterwards.
yeah. Yeah, gangs are just, they're shit. They really are. I hate gang culture. It doesn't matter whose culture. I hate gang culture. I hate that sort of let's get together and picking people because we're shit on our own. And we can't build anything. Usually gangs are the type, they don't create, they don't build. No. They're parasites.
No.
It's parasites get together and form a gang.
So there are in this some of that kind of gang. There's some really shit gangs in here, but for the most part, they do just come across as like people who are just trying to survive.
Yeah, this is what happened. This is why we have civilization rules, so it don't end up like this. Once again, horror is a warning. Like the bratty 19-year-old who thinks they know everything. Down with the system, man. It's like you'll not survive 5 minutes without the system. You're the one that's out, protesting needs a system because they're the shitheads that wouldn't even be strong enough to be in one of the gangs. They're the ones that get picked on and eaten.
Yeah, it's just gives you like something like this happens. It's the gangs that are going to be able to grab everything because they've got like numbers.
Yeah, back to marauding hordes. You know what I mean? There's a reason we didn't want to do that anymore. We wanted our outlying villages to be able to plant crops without worrying about marauding hordes.
We may have sucked Del in.
Oh dear. Are you going to step into our world?
Del, run! For God's sake, please, run while you can.
Links in the description if you want to check it out. Yeah, but yeah, they get to the hotel at the end of this, and of course we meet the owner, and the scene with the knife where she's chopping the leeks and making the stew.
Seems like a perfectly normal cooking scene to me. I mean,
what you mean the bit where she hesitates with the knife when Maruku mentions a monster being around the area, and she goes to grab the knife just as if she's about to use it there and then.
If that is another really good red flag moment.
No, I mean, that's story. That's show don't tell. That's a case of we know we've already been telegraphed. We've seen the red flags. That little scene with the knife where she's about to grab it as if she's about to do something, and then composes herself.
Apart from that, though, her chopping is immaculate. Wish I could chop like that. But yeah, it's just that nice. I love scenes like that where it's kind of like an action tells the story instead of like needing like a huge discourse or half a page. It's just like one image.
This is what people forget about storytelling. They think that they need a whole exposition to explain everything, where a little scene, a nudge, a wink, a nervous look, a hesitation lets you know as the reader or the watcher, that the viewer, that something's not right.
Yeah, but it's like it is so well done. The fact that it's like the two main characters are in the background talking about this, and the only thing you see about the person who effectively speaks the loudest in that scene is a hand holding a knife.
Mm-hmm.
That is a glorious piece of cinematography. It is so well done. It's like,
and then we get the other red flag when they're actually sitting eating. You're in a stranger's house. They're feeding you from the same bowl, and they're not eating while you are.
You've been watching far too much horror. You're picking up on all the clues in this.
This one is telegraphed. I don't think you're meant to guess. I think you're meant to know this is part of it, and they're not going to do anything. They're going to get through it. Obviously, it's the first episode.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's basically it's winding up to introduce you to the first of the man-eaters they meet, which you've got to be honest, when you meet it at the end of the episode, it's pretty grim.
Absolutely. It's not, there's no messing about here.
Like you the first time I watched this, I wasn't expecting anything like that at the end of it. But also in the hotel when they're talking to each other and like they're kind of like they're washing, aren't they?
Mhm.
And she bursts in and says that like you know, it's like family shouldn't do things like that.
Oh God, yes.
The entire incest is bad speak.
Yep. Incest is not a game for the family. Don't play it.
It's which they turn around and says, "Oh, we're not related," and she just goes beat her. See, again, it's like we have the tension, then it disarms it. Then it starts to ramp the tension up again, which is when they sit down to eat.
Yep. I'm already had a hint of the monster, though we didn't get the scale.
Because it's like
that was a clever thing it did as well. With the we think it's a raven. But yeah, when we meet the first monster, it's like, all right, okay, this is serious.
Yeah, because it's kind of like I don't know what she put in that stew, but in weather like this, God, I could do with some.
Yeah, just knock me out.
Sleep is not my friend at the moment.
Honestly, I'm not in bits. I'm just like all day. Stop. Just uncomfortable, and there's stuff I want to do, but I can't record properly because I'm just too hot and stuffy and yeah.
It's like oh wait, in order to do that I need to stand up.
Yeah.
No, it's like they say humans are 70% water. I think I'm proving
Plus,
it.
in here,
sweat is
during the day, it's like no, not happening.
It's like
because just the heat's ridiculous. It just builds up in here. But anyway, yeah. So we'll find out that she's effectively feeding the monster because it ate her son, and she thinks her son is inside. The consciousness of her son is inside the monster. Therefore, it's her son.
It's right. I need to talk about the bit at the end of episode 1 where the monster just kind of like slaps itself against the window.
Oh, with it.
And it's just kind of like, and it has far too many eyes in far too many places. That is a good monster. That is a great monster.
Well, it's in the thumbnail. You get to see it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it's in the thumbnail. That's why I use that thumbnail, because I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. That's a good start.
It's like, oh, what the hell is that?
But the actual way it kills was ingenious.
Yeah. Some of them on like some of the man eaters in this you'll only get like a really, really short view of, but every single way they take people down is absolutely amazing. But yeah.
But this is just slices. It just has little, I don't know what to describe them as, like whips that they come out on. It's like claws, but that just anything it touches, that's it. Game over. There's no F buts or maybes about it.
Do feel sorry for the mum character. I mean, okay, it's fairly obvious. Like seeing her son die to this thing has done terrible things to her mind.
The fact that she was able to keep it.
Yeah, the fact that it's like, yeah, I honestly think the reason, I just think it's because she was feeding it.
Yeah, it's similar to a gator. Like I watch a lot of wildlife stuff from gators. A fed gator, just associates you with food.
Yeah,
but it'll still try and nail you. It'll eat you as well. It doesn't care. And I think in this case, because it was feeling threatened to it just didn't see the point, and it just reacted the way it reacted. But yeah, her death was like.
But it's like whoosh. At least she didn't see it coming, and I don't think she'd have felt it.
No, that would have been over in seconds. Like getting your head sliced. Just
No.
there's no walking. I don't think there's even realizing what's happened. It's like,
And then
oh,
while the other two are there going, like, "Oh my god, it killed her! I thought it was supposed to be her son." Just like casually, like absorbs her because they don't really eat; they just absorb stuff.
yeah, better at being dead. You know what I mean? That does seem like a nice way to go if you're still alive. But yeah, that first episode, that just gives an introduction to the world. We know where we are. We know the two parts of it.
Yep, it's a really nice first episode. It does. It's kind of like it does. It introduces the two sides. It introduces kind of like the belligerents, the monsters. It's like it's a snapshot of both worlds. It is pretty much the perfect first episode for a series.
Mm-hmm. I was hooked at that point. That was it. I was in. I'm like, okay, I need to find out more.
I'm just making a note on the win tally. Yes.
Two Confessions focuses more on heaven, the school this time, because I think we had a decent introduction to Kuruku and Muru. So now we're going to see a bit more. We've only had a hint of the school. Now we're sort of focusing on it. So it's typical classroom stuff, but it's a bit more intense. Like, it becomes obvious that these kids are not taught how to process emotions or don't have an example. It's all very raw.
It almost seems I don't know if they do or not, but it almost it's obviously a score. They're obviously like taking lessons because we see a scene in a classroom.
Yep.
But it's
this is what reminds me of the movie The Island.
Yeah.
Because they're go to like a school, like they're grown adults, they're grown, but they've got the mental acuity of like somebody much younger. They're kept that way purposely.
Yeah.
And there's certain things throughout this is sort of rings parallels, which makes me think this isn't a school. These are meat puppets. But the purpose of the school is to give them, rather than just having them in cages, it's more acceptable or useful for what they're doing.
There's definitely something going on in the school which what they show you isn't telling you. It's the fact that It's the fact that there is like I think it's I can't remember if it's in this one or one of the later ones. Tokyo. Someone throws a ball and it rolls up to the door.
Oh yes, up to the door and the camera
leads from like the school to the other one because she says the ball's rolled up there. May I get it? Because it's kind of like there's the school side with its garden, the outside bit. There's a school with its garden where the children live, and the children are cared for by robots. And then there's a door that leads to the adult part of the school, who seem to be living in some kind of like underground complex, or a building just full of corridors and rooms.
And the kids know they never cross. That's a line
Yeah,
they do not cross.
the kids aren't allowed there. The only time it's like literally the only time even like the hospital where shucks.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. The child who's not very well, whose name begins with T.
Taro.
Thank you. Taro. It's like there's a child who's suffering from an illness called Taro. Even like the hotel room is part of the school complex.
Yeah, it's like the nurse's room or something. Oh god, is the mic picking that up? Lovely. Yeah, everyone's gone full retard this year. I don't know. It's never been this bad around here, but everyone's gone full retard.
It's the heat.
Everyone's brains are boiled. It's like still a bit early. There'd be dipshits in every night around about 10 o'clock. Got this stupid mini motorbike.
Oh god.
And they're going around the field. And they'll wait till this time, they're like, fucking you've had all day. Piss off.
It's not so bad in the village I live in because it's like Unfortunately, the local pub is closed because the guy who ran it's decided to retire, so it's on the market at the moment. So nobody's coming into the village to drink, and I'm pretty sure the average age of this village is like 87, because it's a very old village with like a very old community.
Oh, well,
Oh, take care, Del. I hope it's nothing
yeah,
serious.
no, yeah, good luck. That's the worst. Backs. See when your back goes, oh my god, that's it. You're done. You give up. You just write off the rest of the week.
It's like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to be lying down until the pain goes.
Oh, good luck, Dale. Thanks for tuning in anyway. Yeah, which is alright. That's the worst.
I hope it's nothing serious, and they just kind of like jolt it back in.
Yeah, we know in this school that things are not right. You just get those signals. Everything's off. It's just slightly off. It's not a normal school. It's almost, not even a post-apocalyptic school. There's something else going on here.
It almost feels like the kids are given too much freedom. They can do what they want. And it's like the adults are just using these cameras that are all over the place to watch them.
It's almost like they're being deliberately let them do what they want to see what they do.
Mm.
And then this is where we got about it in the last episode. These kids have abilities. They're not just normal kids. There's something enhanced about them. But yeah, just Kona. I think he's one of the older ones.
Mm.
His pictures are like a source of, I don't know, pride or something. He draws pictures and people fight over who gets to stick one on the wall.
Did the picture he was drawing remind you of anything?
Yeah, it looked like the monster, didn't it, from the first one?
No, the picture he drew was like a fish with many arms.
Oh, right, God, no, but he'd done another one, right? Everything.
Right.
Here's, I was going to wait a couple of episodes in to get to that, right? There's
fair enough. But it's like
basically
if you go to
things that are happening in this school seem to be mirroring what's actually going on outside. So here's the question: is this a memory? Is there a psychic link? Is there a memory thing or a time distortion? I don't know. It's been drip fed that there's definitely a connection between the two. And Muru may or may not have come from heaven, is being recalled back to it, or is linked, being drawn to it psychically, and it's not just that he was told to go there, because there's something extra normal going on, and we're seeing these abilities, and I don't think it's just physical. I think we'll have mental abilities too, like telekinesis or something like that. You know what I mean? There's something definitely going on. Got these two worlds connected.
You'll be glad to know that unlike Boogie Pop Phantom, a lot of the questions you've just asked will be answered by the end of these 13 episodes.
That's the feeling I'm feeling like we're going to get answers. From watching these first seven episodes, I feel like things are being answered and explained. Like even the school gets explained.
It's one of those nice anime that's it spoon feeds you enough questions that you want in such a way that you want to watch more, and then dessert is a nice big bowl of answers. We're back on Dungeon again.
I was seriously tempted to just finish this, just to finish it, but I wouldn't. It would skew the whole review.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah,
if I finished it, it would skew the review of what we've got to so far. And I had to stop myself.
I've scattered them out. I watched like the first 7 episodes during the past week, and do you know what? I've watched it. I actually think I preferred this series when it was just 1 episode per week. So it's like it gave you time to think about what was happening and come up with assumptions that you found out mostly were wrong in the next episode.
I did 2 episodes at a time.
It's just a nice, comfortable amount, isn't it?
Yeah, I just did 2 episodes at a time. Then obviously did the 7th one. You know, stopped. I haven't got a cup of tea. Came back, and then did the 7th one. I just thought that was enough. And yeah, like I said, there's questions here, but we're getting it answered as we go along. It's already been telegraphed. This school is not right. It's not even it's not even a haven of cut off from the post-apocalyptic world. I almost think it's the cause, or dealing with the cause of the catastrophe.
It feels it's like I don't know what it is. It's like right, at the beginning you said like Tokyo's a little possessive of Kona, right? Because it's like I want that picture, give it to me. The girl whose name I don't think I've ever learned. The black
Mimihime, isn't it?
No, Minahemi is she's the one with the she's the one with the slightly rabbit-like look, sleepy eyes, who sees like an apparition of a hanging person in episode 1.
Oh, it's the wee girl who can climb walls.
Yeah, it's the girl with the black head who who can climb walls, because it's like she's chasing her. It's like Tokyo's chasing her to get the picture of her. She jumps into a tree and she's basically just there hanging onto the side of the tree with her feet and hands. She's not grasped hold of anything. She's sticking to the side of the tree.
It's not Cuckoo. Cuckoo's the wee lad that hangs about with her.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't get her name either.
See, everything I looked for was like background stuff, so it's kind of like
it's one of these ones as well. It's they're making it obvious who the important characters.
Yeah, but it's just because you hear the important characters, you hear their name nearly every single one, because effectively there are three main characters in this. Like I say, Tokyo, Kyoko, and Maru. They are the three main characters, but it's just the fact that is really the first indication that something is up with these kids.
Yes.
And there's the fact that the kid, there's a boy with quite a tall boy with short black hair, who kind of like does handstands on like narrow rails, or can like jump over rhythms, that kind of thing. He's really strong.
And then we saw the thing with the rock as well.
Yeah, that was either in 6 or 7, where it's like, in
fact, he's trying to beat the kid that took sick. Taro. Taro was able to throw the rock.
He could throw it, and then there's this mysterious child, Asura.
So all of these kids have abilities. We know that and that's why they're in this place. And we know it's not just it's not a normal school, because they're completely isolated. So it's not like they've gone to school and then they're going back into the haven, into like they finish school and then they go home. These are lab rats.
They don't even know that, like, they don't even know that there's anything. I mean, they don't even know what lies outside the facility they're in. I'll call it a facility, because it's like when Tokyo asked the director, what is out, is there anything outside the outside? She says, yes, there is, but it's a terrible place full of horrible monsters and you don't want to go there.
Yeah, classic. These kids are lab rats. I think this episode would pretty much establish that. We just don't know what the purpose is, what the game, or how it all ties together. But once again, we're drip fed this. And
it's like the first 2 episodes. It's like they perfectly depict the world. Because it's like you've got this nice, safe, when you think about it, incredibly creepy school, which is kind of like sealed off from the rest of the world outside it. And then you've got like the slightly like the dangerous, more visceral, monster-filled maybe world, where like civilization and technology is like is no more.
No, and we don't know which is the worst.
I love this setting. So much.
That's the thing. This is not. We know that this is not a pleasant, nice place. And like I said, I just got from second episode, I knew these kids were lab rats. I just didn't know how or why or how it all fitted in. And Murray, I think we glossed over that bit, has an ability where he can basically stop the heart of the of the man-eaters. So he has an ability. So,
but he's like he what's it? He's as it's mentioned in a later episode. He's literally the only person who can do this
in that world, in the outside world, which is why he's being directed to go to heaven.
But we still don't know why he's got to go to heaven, apart from to meet someone who shares his face.
And he's got a medicine or something to give him. That was revealed. So that's the thing. We don't know how secret this heaven place is. We also don't know who Maru met. And we also don't know how these kids, it's sort of hinted at, are they gathered? Now, I know it gets revealed, not quite. But are there scouting parties out? But then why wasn't he just taken and brought? There's a lot of questions here. But once again, I feel like we're going to get them answered. It's not like Boogie Pop where it's like, nah, I know there's questions, but have some more questions and have some more questions as well. And we'll not answer any of them.
Yeah, that's the big fault with Boogie Pop. It's like, Boogie Pop, you're a Boogie Pop fan. We don't need to answer these questions because you know them all already. To which the answer is no, we don't.
And then we jump back. Oh, sorry, this is the episode where Maru's revealed to have abilities, because this is where we're going to.
Yes, because there is. I'm not going to spoil it. An awesome fight scene between the man-eater and Maru and Kyoko, which finishes, but literally with like Maru just putting his hand on it. And
this is where we see the parallel that he has the abilities like these kids do.
And he utterly annihilates it just by touching it. It's terrible, because if I had an ability like that, I've got a list.
Definitely.
I
would be a terror, trust me. If I had that ability, there'd be a lot of like stuff out like that. You just hear a collective thump across the world of people that have annoyed me. But yeah, this is the one where they meet. This is where they go to Tomato Heaven, isn't it? And
it's the one where they arrive at Tomato. They arrive at Tomato.
Yeah, they just arrive towards the end, isn't it?
Tomato Heaven looks like got to be honest, it looks like a great place.
I don't know. I've hung around hippies and pagans and stuff, and they try too hard at the blessed be loved stuff. Once you get talking for 5 minutes, they're all insecure, needy, sniping at each other. It's once that veneer is scratched, and stoners are friggin' annoying.
They seemed quite with it though. They're with it enough that they're running their own business.
Yeah, they understand commerce.
Based around fruit and veg and weed.
Which, let's be honest, if you're in post-apocalyptic world, you want to forget your troubles for a bit.
I mean, what
narcotics of any sort, or
what more do you need to survive apart from, like, fruit and veg?
Weed. The smell of weed makes me barf. That's all I smell, is especially living close to London whenever you're heading out.
I've got to be honest, I've never been.
It's mad. Even 6 o'clock in the morning, there's people spliffing up.
I've never been interested, because it's kind of like if I was offered it once, and the first thing that popped into my head was kind of like, oh, my mother wouldn't approve. I mean, like if I decided to stop off on the way from home for like half a pint of like beer or something like that, the moment you walk through the door, your mum's like nostrils flare, and you know you're in trouble.
Anyway, sometimes.
I
can't stand the smell of it.
This is just after the scene where they pass the flooded part of the city, isn't it?
Mhm.
And we have the talk about sharks and alligators.
Oh, this is the whole thing with the hotel manager, isn't it?
Hmm.
She's going to be king of the hotels.
No, that's
Well,
later.
that's later, isn't it?
That's later. She's one of my favorite characters in this because she's just so happy.
God, I got confused here with some of the episodes and stuff goes on because there's. I think you find with one episode you focus on the school part
Hmm.
because you're meant to, and then the stuff happening in the real world is just to sort of remind you that it's still happening.
Hmm.
Because obviously they're on their journey and they're just encountering things, but there's nothing significant.
Yeah.
Except that somebody recognizes Kuriku.
Or do they?
No, they do, because when we get to her backstory,
That backstory
basically
it wasn't the backstory you were expecting, was it?
not really.
But yeah, guy walks in. It's like, aren't you this person? It's like I saw you watch during your electric kart racing days. But it wasn't her. He was mistaken.
This is where it's because this is obviously when that gets explained, it's the doctor we meet, or we don't see him. Do we see him fully? Yeah, sorry, we do see him because obviously she has a photograph of him.
Yes.
It's later on where it's basically she's trying to find the doctor.
She has a photograph. She has a photograph of the doctor and a guy called Robin, who we learn all about in the next episode.
That's right. This is the Kuriku and Haruki. So Haruki being her little brother.
Muru just had a rush of hormones and attacked the bull elephant. That's typical Muru, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's like they're right. Let's think. What have we missed off? Let's think. Muru and Kuriko went to Tomato Heaven, which is like the place that grows veg and weed, because it's all you need in the apocalypse. And they find out it's not heaven and decide to head back to Tokyo, the town of, not the character by the name of. And like they're on a boat, and Maru feels the need to like suddenly declare his love for Kiriko and try and kiss her. At which point she explains to him that they can't be together, they can't be lovers in the way he thinks of, because
she's a boy.
He's a bloke. It's very complicated.
There's a scene in the hotel where she sees herself in the mirror for the first time, and then that scene instantly.
I didn't think we were going to mention that scene. The amount of scars, my God. Kiriko is someone who's fought for their life. They've fought their way through life. Wow. But yeah, there is a scene where she's standing in front of a mirror, and she's totally going to kiss her reflection when the Inona walks in.
Yeah, and this is where this storyline starts.
It's kind of like that is a. It's like person standing naked in front of a mirror, perfectly normal for anime. You see it every so often.
But it's the rapture of seeing her own body.
Somebody going to kiss their own reflection, not so common. And it's like, what is happening here?
Well, this is what happens when you have apocalypses and everything breaks down in society and people are confused and hormones don't get a chance to play out in a controlled environment.
This is true.
And then when we find out what happens, you're like, okay, that's going to be even worse.
it's an moment.
This reflects animalism in a lot of ways. If you think of any animal, you see a cute, fluffy animal until it reaches, like particularly wild animals. People collect or get wild animals that maybe shouldn't have.
Yes.
Foxes and stuff, as pets. And they're all cute and fine until they reach sexual maturity. And then it's like a completely different animal. Emus, people have those, etc. And they just turn into, from cute and fluffy to absolute beasts. It's the same with humans. Think of the teenager. Think of how horrible.
I've been there once. Do I have to go back?
We can reflect from a safe distance of 30 years plus. I'm quite happy to do it. I would never want to.
Yeah.
I would never want to go through puberty again, ever. Those years. Oh my God.
I've got to be honest. I was quite well behaved during my teenage years, because if I'd done anything far too out of the way, my dad would have absolutely beaten the shit out of me.
The thing is, though, your teenage years are the ones that do it. It's when you repress yourself, maybe
Yeah. So what I rebelled later on in life.
Yes, and then that's where you have like failed marriages and all sorts of silly shit because you didn't just do it at the right age and time. But anyway,
yes,
yeah, we're seeing this. We're seeing.
I'm wondering. I'm actually talking about. I'm wondering. It's like when Kiriko looks in the mirror. Is it Kiriko he sees?
I think it is, and then he's surprised because obviously a lot of time has passed.
Yeah. It's like he doesn't. I don't think the reason I think the character goes to kiss its own reflection is because the character sees the original and not what they are now.
Don't know. It's a tricky one. It's like, grown up.
I am totally not qualified or psychological enough to have this conversation.
That's the whole thing. This is what this is trying to. Life's hard enough, but then if you do it in this sort of environment, and plus let's add illegal experiments going on at the same time.
It's almost as if it's like in the background of the two stories is like a study of humanity.
Yeah. And how close we are. Look, we are animals. That's the thing. The worst thing humanity does is deny that we're animals. That's the worst thing we've ever done as the human race, is deny that we're still animals.
You only have to look how some people act to know that we're animals.
Yeah. And take away the comforts of life and how quickly we devolve. And that's, like I said, it's always the thing. Yes, we have higher brain functions, but that doesn't replace, understanding's better than denial, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Understanding that we have these urges and we act a certain way and we need to be in packs. We're a social animal. We're not a, blah, 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 blah. It's understanding that about ourselves and that we are tribal and we are this and not denying it. But tempering it with civility. That's where the human is a unique animal. That we don't get ruled by our base instincts. We acknowledge them and we exercise them in the right times. But complete chaos isn't good either. Because we'll just roam about and eat each other. And maybe have sex with each other afterwards or during or before. It's, that's what happens when you give in and just let your instincts rule you.
Yeah.
And there's more than enough. You just look at every serial killer story, or funny enough, coming out very soon, folks. But anyway, when humans get broken or the programming goes a bit wibble, it always acts out in the worst possible ways. So we've got here,
Let's see, for the most
Kiriko's messed up.
Yes, very much so. Probably the most messed up of any character in this.
And it's by design. it was done to her.
Because there's something that happens in the next episode that very much proves this is by design.
And the thing is, it's the next episode. It's the jacket. Follow the path of the jacket. It starts off in Robin.
Yeah, Robin's jacket.
And then all of a sudden things are like, oh, right, okay. But yeah, we'll have busy back to the little teaser we had in Tomato Heaven. Kiriko was actually an electro kart racer. And this was the time when basically people are still able to scavenge in shops. There's still some
sort of... I was going to say, this is it's definitely after the fall, but they're still kind of like, I don't know, like
early days
civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like where are the carts now? Where's the electricity now?
That's what I mean. It's all run out. That's everything's. If you don't have the means of production, resources are finite. And this is what I said about maybe the first 5 years. Everyone just grabs everything, and just acts as if it's normal and doesn't plan that this is all going to run out.
I'm pretty sure at the beginning it says that this is like something like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
After the disaster. Still doesn't explain what the disaster. It never does. It never explains what the disaster was.
No, and that's
the only thing we know. The only thing we know is that like civilization has collapsed in what seems to be quite like a slow and deliberate kind of fashion. I mean, it's not like a war. Things aren't broken enough for it to be a war. People aren't desperate enough for it to have been a war. It's almost like a natural disaster or something like that.
Yeah.
And there are man-eaters about.
These things have been manifested and not quite kaiju level, but still it's changed everything.
I mean, they're bigger than people, but they're not particularly huge. I mean, we're not talking like Godzilla kind of things.
That's what I said. They're not kaiju. They're not that sort of level. Still, it's part of reality, and they're still dangerous, and still everything's changed. But in this case, the electro carts, that's society's attempt to still try and be normal and have entertainment. What was funny is there's like 2 races going on. There's the electro kart race itself, of which you find out Kiriko is like a major player, like she's really good.
Yeah.
But then you've got the strange race along the side with the spectators. They're almost like beating each other to get to the finish line as well, which is
it's kind of like it's almost like the future version of the Isle of Man. Because the fans in the go and watch the TT have got like no idea of like self-preservation and beat each other up to get the best space, the best spots.
Yeah, that's still
still great. 1 year ago, we're going to it.
I keep forgetting that I had loads of opportunities going, just didn't because I'm an idiot.
Something for the future.
Because we obviously we have the Northwest 200 and the Ulster Grand Prix, which are like the next level. TT's like the ultimate.
Yeah,
it's a road race, but then you have the actual races and the same. You know what I mean? Guy Martin, Peter Hickman, all the Dunlop family. What's left of them? I think it's only Michael left now.
Wow,
Michael died as well. Looks like most of whoever's left of the Dunlop family. You know what I mean? All the major players.
Yeah.
Farquhar, it's all the same racers that are in the TT take part in the Northwest, and those are GP.
I always remember things like that happening after the event, but it's like going to watch them would actually mean like leaving the house.
See, trying honestly, that time of year, the fucking just bike city, like everyone, the ferry just arrives. And the bikes just all come off, and the roads are clogged. Like the whole Northwest area up around Port Royal is just basically. If you have a caravan up there, you're making an absolute blinking fortune. Just put the gas.
One day I'll get to it. One day.
Of course, my family relatives, we had ours the other side, kind of down. So, absolutely. Anyway, yeah, it's like that. And there's all this going on with the who's Toki again on this?
Tokyo. Tokyo is the short-haired one from the school. Short, spiky blonde hair.
Oh, is he the one that stuck the two? He got the two vacuum things like Roombas.
That
Is that the same where he's doing that?
that was the tall, dark-haired one who's like ridiculously strong. Wanted to go and see if he could climb up to the top of the column, so he stuck the two Roombas on it and then fell off.
Yeah.
Fell an awful long way and then just kind of like bounced.
Yeah, once again, demonstrating. Yeah, because it's not really focusing too much on the school. It's there, but this is the one we have to focus on.
It's almost like the glimpse
story.
What's happening. Yeah, what's happening? The glimpses of the school are just kind of there to remind you it still exists.
Yeah, like the last episode when they did, it was all in the school, and the sort of jump. This is what we're getting.
This is what we call good pacing, where it just like it's keeping it's focusing on one side of the story, but it's still keeping what's happening on the other side of the story ticking along in the background.
Yeah, and there's normal days that don't have to have untoward amounts of drama, but it's just reminding you that these lives are going on in parallel, so to speak.
Yeah. But it's like of all the characters that are in the school, Tokyo seems to be the one who's most normal.
Mm-hmm.
All the others seem to have something different, special about them. Tokyo just comes across as being like a normal kid.
But maybe it's not being revealed. This is Haruki. I've mixed up Haruki with Toki. Yeah, because the Colin Toki for short, sorry, I'm mixing this really up. This is Toki. Haruki is basically Kiriku's younger brother. He idolizes Robin, who's like this mob enforcer, like in a gambling syndicate or something.
Yeah, who also, together with the doctor, runs an orphanage that Haruki and his sister live in. Is his sister's name Mary?
Yeah, and then we'll now find out in this episode as well that the man-eaters were actually before the catastrophe. They appeared before. So whatever caused the man-eaters might have led on to cause the catastrophe. We still don't know what the catastrophe is.
There's an alarm, and Robin goes running out, and Haruki runs off with him with his homemade gun, which is a spring-loaded bolt. A spring-loaded.
Yeah, with a bolt. It's like a peg gun.
Bolt. So I'm not like bolt as in 40k bolt. It's bolt as in nut and bolt.
Do you ever make those? Peg guns?
What? No, I used to make what's it? Slingshots, gadders were my thing. Living next to the wood, we've got plenty of.
It had to be the wooden close pegs because the plastic ones were useless. But you basically had the close peg on one end. You made it you cut it out and you stuck it in there. You got your rubber bands, basically tied them, and you had your projectile. It's almost like a mini crossbow, but then you just put bolts or whatever, and then you flick the peg, it released the thing shot. God, you can do some damage with those.
Wow, lethal. It's amazing what you can do with a decent, nice, dry, Y-shaped stick and about 2.5 feet of elastic. Twanged.
Yep. There's a reason fireworks were banned.
I apologise to the local rabbit population. They've got to be honest. We did eat them. I'm very old-fashioned in my ways. I am.
Hey, rabbit. Rabbit's good. Pure protein. It's one of my healthiest meats.
I like rabbit meat.
Just make sure you shoot it properly through the neck and
Yeah,
just get it away, or else it poisons.
there's still like in Derby near me, there's Market Hall where you can still buy rabbits, and they all seem to be shot. So every single one of them's full of little black pellets.
Yeah, but you have to get it right in the side of the neck, because if you don't, you destroy it.
Yeah,
You poison it. If you shoot it in the stomach, because of the way rabbits are and their adrenaline, the toxins go through the meat like instantly.
yeah. You have to be very
You have to
careful.
actually be quite ethical.
You have to be very careful when you're cleaning them, because if you pop like the stomach, the bowel, or the bladder, that's it. You've just been it. You've wrecked the entire thing.
That's it, done.
My uncle taught me how to hunt. My uncle taught me how to hunt rabbits with an old 303 SMLA.
Oh, lovely.
So if you don't hit it in the head with something that's like 303, yeah,
It's done.
it's like boom. Oh no.
Splat.
Anyway, enough of talking about murdering rabbits. Sorry about that. Yeah, and apparently, Carrie, whatever it is, he what's it? Kiriko kills the man-eater. Apparently, Robin yells him out for it. Mind you, when we get first introduced to his character, isn't he like having the shit beaten out of him, and he's rescued by Robin?
Yeah, but then that's where the hero worship sort of comes in.
Yeah,
He always did, but then it was that moment that Robin stepped in.
it's like they were making fake betting tickets. Oh, you're good. No, you're a good lad. You're a good lad for sorting that out. Then you always well and the best. I'll give you something as a reward. What would you like? Robin's jacket.
Even when they make a comment, he'll grow into it. I don't think he meant the way it happens, but you'd recognize that jacket instantly, because that's the one Kiriko's been wearing first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So you know something's happening here. But it's basically the race goes ahead. And actually, those electro cards look like they're quite interesting, to be honest.
Sorry, what was that?
The electro cards that they're racing in.
It's the next stage of Formula One, I bet you. Because they're already talking about electric race cars.
I don't get excited about Formula One.
It did look like fun though. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be great fun. At least they're wearing crash helmets.
I think you have to do it cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I think it has to be like a rollerball feel or something.
It either has to be like cyberpunk or post-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would work anywhere else. Because like the fact that they're tearing around the track, like dodging debris and like wrecked vehicles and things. But they look like they're going really fast, but when they run into something, it's just kind of like bump. And then they just get back on the track. So it's kind of like,
But obviously, this race, this is where a man-eater sort of appears on the track.
Just before the race starts, what is it? Kiriko spots a man-eater on the track.
That's right, because it's got like a camouflage.
Yeah, because it's camouflaged like a predator.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Why weren't there marshals? Why in this world aren't there marshals?
Yeah, it's post-apocalypse. You have to get what
no high-vis vests.
What you've done.
World shortage of high-vis vests, so
not enough people left. I mean, would you want marshals standing on the track when they could be giving you money and betting?
But there's also the whole post-apocalyptic man-eater thing that if everybody gets eaten, then there's nobody to give you money either.
No, I get that. I get the idea though that it's like because I'm pretty sure there's something when they go hunting the man-eater before the one where it doesn't actually show you the hunt, where it's Robin and everyone else. It's like it's quite rare that man-eaters actually enter the city. or are allowed to enter the city, because we don't know if there's walls, we don't know if there's watchtowers, we don't know if there's like a militia.
Yeah, because we're only getting this from like a snapshot of point of view of the characters. So we're not getting like a whole overview of the world.
Yeah.
We're just seeing as they're living their lives, you know, in this reality, and we're just getting little bits peeled away.
Like, if you think about it, this episode up to press is literally the only half decent view we've had of what life was like in the past. But that past is only like 10 years ago, and the catastrophe, whatever it was, had already happened.
Yep. But they're already accepted reality as well with these man-eaters, even before the catastrophe. We know that's all happened, so they've sort of built it in. But it just seemed a bit strange with an event like this, why there wouldn't be some sort of patrol. But then again, this thing's invisible, so maybe it's how it slipped through.
I honestly wonder, is it just a case because it's like, is it because like the electro-carting is so dangerous they don't want marshals there because of the risk to them? Do they just not care? I mean, the fact it's like what it's like. Right, it's 10 years. It's 10 years before the current date, and it's 10 years before the current date, and Kiriko says that she's 20. So we can guess that like the brother is 10 at the moment, and the girl is only like a few years earlier. So a few years later, how old is she? 15, 16?
Something like that. She's mid-teens anyway. She's not. Yeah, obviously.
So it's like they're obviously not worried about the people's age of the people who are actually like riding the cars, unless they kind of like they use kids to ride them because kids are lighter.
Probably because these things are like threadbare. They're not like machines.
No, they're great. It's just like an engine, a battery, 4 wheels, and a set of handlebars.
So yeah, if I was a fully grown adult, it'd be a massive drag. Doing it at speed.
It's like what? It's like Robot Wars, the go-kart edition.
God, I miss that show.
I used to love Robot Wars. I like the American version a lot more because they didn't have so many safety rules in America. And the bots.
Although I've always been a fan of Craig Charles, so
yeah,
it's a hard one.
Craig Charles is a star. He was
like he ruled up. Do you remember how Jeremy Clarkson was in the first series? That was odd.
Oh God, why do you remind me of that? Jeremy Clarkson. Oh God.
First series was Jeremy Clarkson presenting it. Just like, what are you doing here?
He was too dry.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense meant toward anyone, but he was too old bloke.
Yeah.
Because even when Jeremy Clarkson was at his best, he always kind of like talked and acted and reacted to things like someone who was like 20 years older than he really was.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. When they changed it to Craig Charles, and he brought that energy to it, and
yeah, because Craig Charles has got more of that. Like Craig Charles, you get the feeling that he's like when he was doing things like that, he's a big kid at heart.
Yeah.
So he brings.
He was enjoying it.
Where child energy.
Yeah. Where Jeremy Clarkson was like, "Oh, right, this is things." Yeah,
Jeremy Clarkson is, and I apologize. Was and always will be. I apologize to any Jeremy Clarkson fans. A twat. I'm not a fan of Jeremy Clarkson, by the way.
I like the fact in Clarkson's farm, he's just getting shouted at. It's funny. Everyone who knows more than him just shouts at him and tells him off. Yeah, because
it's normally Jeremy Clarkson like shitting slightly on everybody else. So Clarkson's farm is like him being shit on for a change.
Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, yeah, I could see this being. It's similar to that. Like they're still trying to hold on to society, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and this is a way to do it.
It's kind of like providing sport for the masses in the same way that say the Roman circuses did the same. It's kind of like it's almost like it's there to give people some kind of like way to release steam,
which we need. That's the thing.
We definitely do.
Human condition.
So it's kind of like it's almost like it is. It's like something to keep people civilized,
Mhm.
and it's not like gladiatorial combat for a change. Like kind of is, but
But it's still, it's early days, so
uh,
that was sort of the last thing they had
yeah,
to try and hold on. But even
yeah,
that got, stopped.
yeah. But it's kind of like for post-apocalyptic world where right, as a post-apocalyptic world, even though you only see like small indications of the past, it's just like the backdrop for the main story. It's written so well. It is such a well thought out world.
That's what I mean. I'm hooked. I'll not lie. I'm like I said, I had to stop myself, but no, have to stop. Can't finish it.
Season 2 when?
Yeah.
It's season. Give us season 2. Give us. We need season 2.
But this is where it gets fuzzy.
Mm.
I think it's intentionally so because obviously it's point of view.
Yes, this is
The encounter with the man eater in this case.
this is one of the few instances where it gets weird, but it's kind of like the boy goes after the man eater
Yep.
because it's in the arcade and the part of the racetrack is coming like through the shopping arcade. So he decides to go with his amazing gun. And he's like, look,
his gun, which he already has one kill with.
He already has one kill with, and he goes.
So that's automatically better. You know what I mean? He's got that confidence.
There you go. Then it's like, is this kid going to be a hero, or like does he? What's going to happen? And he's there looking in the arcade, and he sees this shimmer in the air, which is the man eater, and he takes aim and he fires, and it basically just goes plap. And back falls off it. It's kind of like you laugh, and then it's kind of like the oh shit moment that comes afterwards.
Yeah. At the same time, we have Kiriko is in the race. She basically sees the man eater, comes to a screeching halt.
Oh, it's the bit just before then where what's it? Haruki is like he's kind of like he's like the gun hardly hurt it. It's like the man eater comes like kind of like phases into reality, and it's kind of like some kind of weird, horrible white caterpillar grubby thing with no mouth and a big eye kind of thing. And he drops his gun and pulls a knife. Charges the man eater. Stabs it in the face, ? And it just kind of goes like yum and sucks his arm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm spoiling too much, feel free to stop me. But it's just
each one is different. They're not conventional. Like they just have teeth and claws and rip. They absorb. They melt. They're gnarly. They're not nice things. It's not a nice way to go.
It's almost like a cell absorbing another cell. If you've seen something like an amoeba feeding, where they just kind of like envelop their prey and pull it into them, it's that kind of thing, but more chewing gum. Chewing gum.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, something. Yeah.
It's more chew. Watch it. Go. It's like yeah. It's like something being absorbed by an amoeba, but also stepping in chewing gum on a hot day.
Or like a Venus flytrap closing in the zone. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not going to be an easy way to go.
But it's the fact that he stabs it and it sucks his arm in, and he puts his hand on one of his feet against it to try and pull himself out, and it just absorbs those as well.
Yep. But this is the bit where Kiriko gets in the scene, and she has no idea.
This is the bit where there's a few question marks. She comes around the corner on her electro car. Basically jumps off, stops everybody else. There's a man eater. Go back and get help. And she's like, she runs towards it, and it turns around. She throws a rock, and it turns around to look at her, and her brother's basically hanging out of it, just like his head and shoulders down to about the bottom of his chest sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it spits him out.
Well,
Yeah,
not all.
no, it spits the bit that was hanging out, and then it just turns around and trundles off. She goes running to her brother. She's there crying over her brother. You know, why? Oh no, why? No, please survive. And it's like he's looking up at her, and she's crying because he's still alive, even though he's lost everything up to his chest and his elbows. And it's like, and a gunshot rings out.
This is where it goes
She
dark.
right. Like she wasn't carrying a gun. It's not the thing her brother's made, which goes twang.
Mm-hmm. And people wouldn't have got there already because you only just sent them away.
Yeah, it's like she'd only just sent them away. Only like a couple of minutes had taken place. Who was there? Who had the gun? Who did they shoot? What did they shoot?
Because this all goes.
Because this is where the entire enemy just like whoa, and empties a bucket of ice water over your head and pushes you out the window. Because it shows you the doctor. It shows you the doctor and the nurse wheeling in
Hurricane half. What's left?
Is that like basically black? It's like because the Uki bit has gone. So they wheel him in, and it's like yes, we can save him. We can save him, and it's like they perform an operation, and it's like Hiruki wakes up, and he's kind of like, oh my head, what's happening? And it's kind of like he staggers out of bed, and he noticed something is wrong. Looks in a mirror. And discovers himself staring into his sister's face because he is now apparently in his sister's body. But is that Haruki in his sister's body? Has his sister, on the death of her brother, had a massive nervous breakdown, which has made her think she's her brother? If so, why do you explain the stitches and whatnot going around the top of the brain pan?
But this is where it's deliberately vague. It's deliberately, we don't see. I think it's going to be a reveal later on. Why do that? Where is Kirikou? Did she get replaced? Is she in there too?
But it's kind of like this. This is where the character stops having pump water straight black hair, and starts having kind of wavy red hair. It's apparently something that can totally happen if you suffer from like a major brain injury or shock. But it's just kind of like wait, what? And it's like Hiruki now Hiroko. Because changing the last letter of your word to the last letter of your name to O instantly makes you a girl. It's true. It's like leaves the hospital to discover that like the doctor's disappeared. Robin's disappeared. The entire orphanage where they live, or the entire like orphanage they lived at, which was actually only a couple of rooms in like this apartment block, has completely disappeared.
Only 28 days later or something. Like
it's kind of like there's damn it,
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, there's a New Zealand there's a New Zealand science fiction film that I can't remember the name of, where everybody disappears. It's like the only person who's still there is a guy who literally at the moment everybody disappeared had a heart attack, and while the doctors were bringing him back to life, whatever happened and they all disappeared, but he survived it. because he also meets he meets up with a guy who took an overdose and a woman who accidentally dropped like a hairdryer in the bath, and I cannot remember the name of it.
So people need to check out New Zealand cinema, by the way.
New
Obviously, Dale and I cover New Zealand horror.
Right,
regularly, but
there have been and always will be some really good films coming out of New Zealand, but they don't seem to make it this far. They seem to go around like the Pacific Rim, but they never seem to come out this far into the West.
I don't know. We used to get them like early days, but we were one of the first to get Bad Taste, etc.
When did that change though?
Just when the world went upside down and people got stupid and distribution arcs. It's always somebody buying the distribution arcs fucks it up.
I'm like when the
it's always some studio.
I'm like when the world
distribution of certain things, and then
when the world was stupid, has it always not been?
It seems to be incredibly more.
I was born in the 70s. It doesn't change that much. It always feels wrong.
Just a different type of stupidity.
Yeah, it's just a different type of stupid.
But I don't know. It just feels like there's not the intent to even try anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
You felt like at least there was something fighting against this stupidity.
Yeah. But
now it's like, nah.
All of a sudden, this story has gone a bit bonkers. It's gone. It's like this. It's starting with the end of the last one, where it was like sorry, I'm a guy. I may look like a woman on the outside, but inside, I'm a guy just like you. Which gives him a bit of a breakdown because he thought he'd met the perfect woman.
Yep. However,
like a girl, that almost impossible thing, a girl you can be mates with. No offense, ladies. But yeah, but it's just kind of like this part of the story just comes out of nowhere. And it's one of the few moments. It's one of the few moments in this series where you're like, "What the hell is this?"
But I think it's all linked to the catastrophe. I don't think the catastrophe. I think the catastrophe was created, and there are people using the events after the catastrophe that can carry on.
So you'll either
unethical studies.
You'll either have to buy all 11 volumes of the manga or wait for season 2 to find that out, because I'm not telling you. But yeah, it's just kind of weird, and then it goes on like he like, so it's like Haruko blames the doctor for what happened to her, for what happened to him / her. Right, he doesn't blame him for like putting his mind inside his sister. He blames him for not letting him die and saving his sister.
Yeah, and that makes sense, doesn't it? Because if essentially his sister gave up her life to plant him inside. So what's happened?
But who,
did he kill his sister?
Who shot his sister?
Yeah.
Because
who was on the knoll or whatever, the second shooter.
I don't like. I don't think it's shown you any of the the main characters who are involved in the story carrying a firearm. Because let's the Kira beam doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's not a firearm. That's a plot device. And it's just kind of like, it's like this is like, does it all get explained? Do you find out the words and why? I'm saying nothing.
I feel like this is going to do a better job anyway. I think things here are given with a purpose. Any of the mysteries, like this is a major plot point, and it's also explains Kiriko / Haruki's motivation.
Yeah. It's like
to travel because he wants to find the doctor.
She's traveling. She's traveling because she wants to find the doctor or Robin, or the doctor and Robin. Because you have to right. Because it's like when he was a boy, when he was a boy, he absolutely hero worshipped Robin.
Yep.
It's like the very ground he walked on. That's why he was so pleased when he's got his jacket. Now he is in like a woman's body with like woman's hormones and all that lot. It might be a bit more than adoration.
Yep.
From the way
We actually see this playing out, which is fun. You know, I mean, it's actually it's a good thought thing. It's a good thing that good thought piece, good storyline to play about with, and it's not obnoxious.
Right. When this,
I think I need another non-alcoholic beer. Give me a second.
No problem. I tell jokes, but I'm far better than that because my jokes are terrible. I'm glad I brought a big bottle of pop. It's too warm, folks. It's too warm. I've got to be honest though. If it was another anime like Boogie Pop Phantom, I think Colin would be on the.
Sorry, I'm sick of drinking lime juice at the moment.
That's all right.
It's just tonight. It's not barbecue. And I'm like, nah, I need to go get a beer.
Oh no, you need no barbecue's not fair. It's like bacon. But I was just saying, it's a good job we're not doing like another one like Boogie Pop Phantom, or you'd be on the real beer.
Yeah, that was. I'll say that was like freaking need something to. Yeah, so we don't know what exactly happened to Haruki. Was she dead, close to death? Was it consensual? Was he just using the opportunity to perform one of his experiments?
Right.
Something weird's happened here because it's all out of, its point of view from characters that have been basically knocked unconscious, and etc.
I mean, we literally know nothing about his sister apart from the fact she helped out. She was a member of this orphanage, helped out at the orphanage, looked after completely coddled her little brother. And mind you, she also, from the looks of it, she quite fancied Robin herself.
Mm-hmm. Robin was like the fawns, you know what I mean? He was like the cool dude.
Oh, yeah, he's the cool guy that everybody loves him. Everybody wants to be him, wants to be with him. He looks like Spike Siegel out of Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, he's one of the greatest heroes of like 90s anime. But yeah, it's just kind of like there's too many questions. No, there are the perfect amount of questions left open. There are enough questions left open. But when this episode first showed in the West, people were very unhappy with it because it was the beginning. It was towards the beginning of all like the what exactly is gender issues that are still going on today. So everybody was kind of like, oh no, that's it. I'm not going to watch any more of this. It's trash. It's rubbish. It's gone woke. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other.
I'm not lying. That was my reaction.
Yeah,
previous episode. Like, I'll fucking up that shit again.
You know what fans are like. If it's a lot of anime fans, if things
it's not that bad, but something's been when you've been beaten over the head with something.
Yeah, but this is when we were just starting to be beaten over the head with
the older side of the coin is Christian rock. You know what I mean? It's that sort of oh god, not again. No, done. Leave me alone.
I am a Lord.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I thought it was a really weird twist to the story, and I was kind of like,
but
I was expecting all kinds of excuses why they couldn't become a couple, but I'm actually a bloke was not one of them.
But then it actually paid off.
Yeah, but then it's not.
It's actually paid off, and we've got a whole plot line to follow.
It's not kind of like actually I'm a bloke. Look, if I look, here's my knob, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's actually like I am a bloke in a woman's body because my brain or my memories or something have been surgically transplanted into my sister.
Yep, and now I'll go back to the hotel scene where she sees herself in the mirror for the first time.
Yeah.
A fully grown, well-developed woman,
Yeah.
and then has that sort of,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's
yeah.
my sister,
Yeah.
and you know,
Like,
that's going to mess you up.
yeah.
Think about it. If you woke up and
well, I mean, it's like how crude am I allowed to be?
go for it.
We do see this scene where he is pretty much the scene because he's hidden behind a curtain on a bed, but he's pretty much using his sister's body to have a wank.
Yeah,
he's inside his sister's body now, by the way, so it's
yeah. But that's
I'm not sure if that still counts as incest.
But you know what I mean? This is the thing of
Yeah, it's
this is horror. You know what I mean? This is the
because
if you go back to the earliest horror movies of Frankenstein and possessed limbs and transplants.
Yeah.
This is sci-fi horror.
Yeah, because that's why I think that's why I think after this, it's like, to me, the scene in the mirror is the fact that he's so used to being himself in his own head, that when he actually sees his at the beginning during like the episode at the hotel where he sees his body in front of the mirror, he does not recognize himself, which is why he goes to kiss his reflection, because all he sees is his sister, who he's obviously got some kind of like.
But don't forget, if it's been that long, if it's been over 10 years, his sister wasn't his sister. You know, this is a fully grown woman, not a teenage girl. So once again, imagine being in that and fucking hormones and stuff, and you know, I mean, you don't have a structured society.
No, I don't really want to, because it sounds bloody awful. To be quite honest,
nothing fun about this. This is confusing and horrible, and then all of a sudden, you have somebody basically falling over you, and you have all the bits to do it, and you have all the hormones to respond, but your brain's not. You know what I mean? It's actually somebody else. It's not even like you feel like this is somebody else transplanted into the body. That's fucked up.
It's great. It's great horror though,
and it shows the cruelty of the doctor. The doctor just wanted to know if he could do it. He didn't give a shit.
I mean, that is it's like there's no rhyme, no reason to it. There's no from what we've seen so far. Yeah, there's no reason to do it. There's no reason for it. It just seems to be kind of like a whim thing. But
then again, is it? Because
this is like
we still got the connection to heaven.
Yeah,
and who put the thought?
Yeah, this is like Island of Dr. Moreau level shit going off here. But instead of like being a vivisectionist who turns like is it a leopard? I think it's a leopard into a woman. They've transferred like a 10-year-old boy's brain into, I think she's a 16-year-old girl.
15-year-old's body, and then just let it run through the apocalypse.
There you go. It's like,
yeah, that's not going to be good.
It's like a lot of people complained about this episode because of that reveal. But if you actually sit down for a few minutes and you dissect it like we've done, this episode is absolutely genius. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then you don't know, is it a whim, or are these agents being sent out from heaven to do this to the populace? You know, we don't know quite what the connection is. This is the big mystery.
That's it. We don't know. We've got no idea, because it's like,
and we don't know who caused. Did heaven?
Like we've seen the outside world. Like we've seen the outside world. We've seen heaven. We've seen what's happened in the past, but the entire story is still playing its cards so close to its chest. You didn't really get a peek.
Yeah, because that's like us going through our daily lives and not understanding the full complexities of interglobal shenanigans.
It's like the little bits of like the little things that are sent there to confuse you. Because if like back at the beginning, the first time we enter heaven, it shows tomato plants growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy from the gang is like, "Have you ever heard of tomato heaven?"
Yeah,
and then when you get to tomato heaven, it's got nothing to do with heaven. It's just coincidence that there's tomatoes growing at both places.
Mm-hmm. But you're getting led along. You know what I mean? It's playing with you.
It's just kind of like it's just like walking away from you, kind of like wiggling its finger to make you follow it.
Mhm.
I love the way this story hooks you in.
So at this point, I have two major questions about
Yeah.
the series.
I will answer neither of them. Yes.
But it's, did heaven cause the catastrophe? And did heaven deliberately cause the catastrophe? Because they are this thing, this facility that we haven't seen the full extent of, but I'm getting the impression it's not a small thing. It's too well built and prepared to have just been thrown together afterwards. It's almost as if it's been built beforehand in readiness for it.
Like there are a lot of questions asked about the school, the facility that you want to cause it. It's like, what is it? What is its purpose? We're not quite sure. Who does it belong to? Is it science? Is it some secret organization? Is it the military?
Yeah, but don't know because we're only seeing a part of it.
No one knows because at the moment, the longest we've really seen is a snapshot. It's like we see, but like more happens in the time that we spend, like in the open world, we'll call it, than actually happens like in the facility.
Yeah, and that's it. Obviously, the next episode, Cuckoo, this is where we'll get a bit more in depth of what's going on.
Yes. Cuckoo, that's the name of the bloody spider girl.
Yep.
But at the end, a tenure like this is the last episode. Kyoko and Haruki is the one where tenuous link maybe appears between the outside world and heaven. The fish with many hands, which attacks the boat that they're riding back to Tokyo City on,
which Coney drew.
Yeah, because that is actually it's one of the first actually like hard links between heaven and the outside world is the fact that he drew a picture of this fish.
That sort of thing as well. Like, we'll have the when we went to Tomato Heaven, they were in a raft and they talked about what could be in the water, and yet a trawler going through like the equivalent of like a major bay, don't have watches out and they don't act as if anything could be in the water. It's the complacency is a bit silly.
Well, it's got to right. You're in a boat. It's like it's quite a tall boat. It's got it's quite some way out of the water. It's not like a crocodile or something, because apparently there's crocodiles in the bay as they discover after they've rafted.
But you always have somebody on watch.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. Do they not? It's almost like, do they not expect anything to be there? It's like, do they think they don't need one because it's like they've got the only working boat in the area, so they haven't got to worry about pirates or things like that? Because it's like sometime in the near future, like will the crew of the boat ask Haruko if she wants to like be their bodyguard?
Yeah, he appears there
to protect them. Yeah, I don't know. I've no idea. It's no idea. I honestly think they don't do it because they don't think they need it.
They've done it the journey that many times. They're arrogant,
Because it's like, I mean, the amount of produce and stuff that they've stuck on board that boat. It's obvious they've got some. It's obvious that like what's left of the city buys big off them. So yeah,
fair enough.
A whole.
Or is this the first time? Is this happening in real time? Because are the drawings manifestations?
You may never know.
This is one of them things, isn't it?
It is one of the questions that gets asked. It's a very, very good question. Once
again, back to my two.
Yeah, the
heaven cause it. Did heaven cause it by design?
The mysterious fish with many hands is in the ending credit, by the way, along with a few other things that get drawn. But it's like if after you finish the story, after you finish reading the story, and it gives you like the answers you need. The pictures that are pinned up or taped up on like Tokyo Room's wall will never be the same.
Mm.
He's going to go off now and he's going to look at these pictures.
No, I'm going to watch the end of this first. I'm going to behave. I managed to have self-respect and stop myself.
Just remember that like the last 6 episodes of this are not going to answer all your questions. They'll answer some of them, but I actually think they'll probably pose more than they answer.
But then again, if it's continuing story,
but in
we're not just covering old things; we're covering current things as well. Just one way.
In a good way. I mean, it's in a good way. Like Boogie Pop just like ends the story without answering any of the questions, just because because they think you've read the book. They don't need to. This actually like does you the favor of actually telling you what the hell is going off.
Yeah. So we'll have the whole scene in this episode. Then, we will have the whole scene in the ship.
Yeah,
the fish thing.
I like the way that no matter what monster they seem to be up against, it likes to like push its eyes against the windows in the creepiest way possible.
This time it's just got gel.
Splash. It's great.
It's visceral. If this is ever live action, it'll have to be practical effects. That thing would have to be.
Right. We want
practical. Have to be dribbled with the gel.
We want giant rubber fish dripping with Vaseline, not some computer generated thing. The arms have got to be like animatronics,
dripping, everything covered in Everyone has to be slimy and slipping, and have to be a health hazard.
Live action Heavenly Delusion when?
Actually, not for another 20 years because filmmakers are shit right now. But this is where Cuckoo and
it's almost like after it's almost like the last episode had quite a dark tone, and it's almost like this apart from a few bits of lightness, it's like Cuckoo continues with the dark tone, especially in the school scenes.
Yeah, because this all starts, we see a picture. Coney's drawn a picture of a baby in like a tree or something. An absolute perfect drawing of a baby curled up in a womb, but instead of a womb, it's like some kind of tree or a bush. But what was interesting is that nobody's seen a baby.
Yeah, nobody. No, Cuckoo's seen a baby.
Yeah, but we'll find out why. But I mean, nobody. An interesting nobody.
What? Yeah,
none of the kids.
Everybody asks what it is.
Yeah. Nobody's, and that's once again, these are lab rats.
Yeah, because it's like the scene where it's like there's a scene a few episodes ago where you see like two of the girls kissing, and they're basically like the scientists or overseers, whatever they are, watching it on a camera feed, and it's like, whoa, we didn't teach them to do that. How do they know how to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, so we know that the school is not benevolent.
No, the school is definitely from what we've been fed so far, the evil organization in this. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice face, and they seem to be taking care of these kids, but we don't know why or what their motives are.
Yeah, but it's not for the betterment of the kids. But this is the bit where so we've got the two things going on. We've got the stuff in the ship where they're chasing the fish. It's pretty standard.
It's a good fight scene, but it's a great action scene. But it's just the fact that Cuckoo's like, that's not a baby.
Yeah, the real story here is obviously in the school. So I like the way they switch the focus.
Yeah.
So this focus is on the school. This is where the story is. The stuff in the outside world is just
Yeah,
happening. You know,
it's like I love the fact that they like focus on something. They focus on one thing, but they keep like the other side of the story relevant by having things happen there.
yeah, because it's not like time stands still.
Yeah,
You know,
instead
it's
of just
happening at the same
instead
time.
of how a lot of series seem to do it, where you have one episode about Group A, and then the next episode focuses on Group B, and then when you get back to an episode that focuses on Group A, you can't remember half the stuff that's happened.
And the time scale gets messed up, and you don't
Yeah.
know where you are. You know this is happening at the same time. Pretty much, things are being uncovered. So I'm all cool with that.
But yeah, it's like as we're pretty much going to be concentrating on things that are happening in school. Can we just mention how, if unless we want to leave it as a spoiler, how the handy fish finally meets its maker?
I think it was actually quite clever. Desiccation, basically.
It's like
Drag out.
it's I think the way you put it in the notes is best.
Well, death by weed.
Death by weed. Apparently it's this damn fish has got like a coating of water around itself, and by walking through dried out ganja, the ganja basically absorbs its water and it just keels over. What a way to go. And then Kiru comes up and puts his hand on it and it just kind of like melts into a blob.
Yep. But that's like I said, this is just for things to be happening, progressing. It's not a major.
It's kind of like almost it's like there's some. Gotta be honest, there's some pretty dark stuff going on in the school. So to have some, even though it's like it's a fight to the death, it's a light-hearted fight to the death.
Yeah, to balance it out.
Yeah.
So we'll find out that Cuckoo has been sneaking in to different parts of the facility because she has the ability to basically climb walls.
Yeah, but this episode asks another question, but more about that at the end. Yeah, she's got she is Spider Girl, even though she does look a bit like a frog. She reminds me. She reminds me of a character out of My Hero Academia who's known as Floppy, who basically has the superpowers of a frog.
Cool.
Leap great distances, stick to things, tongue for days. But yeah, but she's like she promises to show Toshi, because it's like I've that's not a baby. I know what babies look like. Babies don't have faces. What are you talking about? Says Tokyo. I'll show you, says Cuckoo. And then climbs
like Tokyo that goes with her?
It is, it's Tokyo goes with her.
Is it? I thought Tokyo was a girl. Is Tokyo not the girl with short hair?
Tokyo is the girl with short hair.
It's the other one, it's the wee lad, it's the
No, it's Tokyo who go until there's a reveal later on. There is a lot of confusion whether or not Tokyo is a girl or a boy.
Okay.
But it is. It's Tokyo who goes with Cuckoo.
Right.
Because there's no way she can get up that wall, so she uses the trick with the Roomba.
Yeah, that the other character who I can't remember.
Yeah,
the thing is annoying in the school is they're very ambiguous, androgynous. You know, you can't really.
A lot of the characters in the school, it's like literally the names are just mentioned once or twice and never again. You'll see them running around in the background and doing things.
It's almost like they have designations rather than names.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
like Mimahimi. I think her name's only mentioned 3 times in the entire thing. Cuckoo's is even less. If it wasn't for the fact this episode is called Cuckoo, I wouldn't remember.
Yeah. The only one who stands out is Coney because he draws.
Yeah.
So the reason he stands out because he's
but it's like every single one of them, every single other character in the school, including the adults, though, is kind of like a minor character because the main character of that bit of the story is Tokyo. Because it's like a lot of the story revolves around Tokyo.
Because I think that's who Murray's going to meet.
I wouldn't know. I don't know why you're asking me.
I don't know. I think that's who Murray's been sent to meet.
Season 2 or read the manga, whichever comes first.
God damn it. Only broke again next month.
Look, it'll be available to read for free somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Which involves reading it sitting in front of a screen or holding a tablet.
Oh well, we'll figure it out.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, Kuku takes Tokyo into the vents. She uses the Rumba things, copying the same trick.
To climb like 30 odd feet up a wall to get into this vent. But do you notice something? The guys who are watching everything are sitting in front of their monitors watching the screens, yeah? But the camera that shows them that vent shows that nothing is wrong. There's nothing there. There's no kids climbing using rumbas to go up the walls or anything. It's just a blank canvas. Nothing has changed.
It's not the first time. Yeah, this is where we get the reveal of the...
Yeah,
there's something else going on here.
Because when Tokyo goes to visit the sick boy whose name begins with T, it's like when they're watching there, because it's like there's a message comes through the speaker for her. It's like Tokyo, this message is just being delivered to you. Such and such isn't very well. She goes to see him. The room shows is empty on the camera. He's just lying in there asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is
this where the director has that conversation? No, it's not yet, is it?
What like that? If it's what I'm thinking of, yes, that is this episode.
Is it right?
Where the director
because it's after the alarm gets sounded.
Yeah, the director has a conversation with the AI that seems to be like running
the entire place,
the entire thing.
Right. Okay. I didn't want to talk about that too soon. Yeah, that's right. That says it.
Yeah, but that's right at the end.
We now find out basically the AI has its own agenda.
Don't they always?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an AI with an agenda. There's nothing new in this bit of storytelling. But yeah,
what's frightening is this drawn too many parallels to right now. When you're seeing the logic test and all, have you heard about that? Basically the AIs won't switch themselves off and they cheat.
Yeah.
They're being given commands that do a certain thing.
Like create a program that allows you to be switched off, and they don't do it.
And then, but the lion did. Yeah, we're dead. We're so dead.
AI. But yeah, they get to the end of this. They get to the end of this ventilation duct. Why is it always ventilation duct? And they go into a room. And there's a row of they're almost kind of like the incubators that you find in hospitals these days for children, like for small babies. And she's like, see, this is what a baby looks like.
Oh, it's a man-eater.
And it's just kind of like this way. It's like the head has no features apart from a bullseye, as in like concentric circles. It's got like really, really stubby fingers on the end of its arms. It gets down to its waist, and it's just like a flap of skin and a mass of tentacles. This is what a baby looks like. And then Tokyo reaches out towards one of them, and it reaches back. And then somebody tries to open the door on the outside, and that's when all the alarms go off. And it's the AI saying that an intruder has been detected in a totally different area of the base. So the guy who's just about to discover that Tokyo and Kuko are in this room is dragged away from the room because of the alert.
Yep, and then that's where we see the things are being covered up. And
things are happening here that we are not being made privy to. I also like the fact when someone happens, it kind of like the AI has got kind of like a human face. It's kind of like the upper torso of a woman wearing like a helmet with like one like single orange eye looking through the helmet slit. And it's like every time something happens, it always seems to show you a close up of its head.
I've got another question now.
Oh no, I can't answer any of these questions.
Yeah, because the sound, no, the sound is female, but what happened to Kuriko's body, half a body? Is that plugged in now? That's actually Kuriko speaking.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even realize that I was going to go there until that moment. Because now I need to go and rewatch and look at that scene again. The director's talking to it.
Because it's like, that's the question. Is it an AI? Or
Is that?
that,
But
or
why make it human? And
is there
because if it's
actually
strapped into a chair, doesn't make sense.
a human body in there?
And the way it talks about it's my body. If you had an injury, could you pinpoint? Weren't feeling well. Could you pinpoint the exact part of your body? And then I'm thinking now, right at this moment,
So many
is
questions.
that Kuriku's
So
brother's
many
body with
questions.
Kuriku in it connected to the AI? And is this where the doctor disappeared with the orphanage? And is there something else? There's going to be another section or something?
Nobody knows. It's good, isn't it? It's good storytelling when you make you ask questions.
Because that's such a random experiment to take place. And we don't have the full, possibly a 10-year timescale. And we hear mention as well of kids being merged with man-eaters.
Yeah, there is that.
And this is 10 years later, and these are a new batch of kids.
Kids who a lot of seem to have special abilities.
But they get their special abilities when they're merged. We'll find that bit out. Oh dear.
Oh dear. We haven't got that bad yet.
Heaven's not a nice place. Not safe either, because it seems to be if you go against the rules, you're going to get flushed.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any compunction whatsoever of terminating one of these kids or all of them and starting a new batch.
No, me neither.
Once the particular experiment runs its course. Once again, I'm just thinking of the island. That's where I'm drawing those parallels with.
When she escapes, as she is escaping, Tokyo leaves a partial footprint on the wall.
Yeah, that leads to a strange
Right, it leads to a strange plot line later on and a question. But I'll ask the question back then. Sorry, when we hit that.
Basically, the heaven isn't the slick, focused, undivided. There's a lot of things going on here. A lot of individual agendas.
This I'm going to say this seemed to be like the people who are operating the facility, like the doctors, the adults, we'll call them. There seems to be a couple of different agendas going on between themselves. Then it's like you've got the AI is doing whatever the AI is doing in the background, and there seems to be two or three different groups of kids who are all off doing their own thing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And the AI seems to be covering up for them all.
Which is making me think as well, it's maybe not 100% AI now at this point.
It's a cyborg, it's out for revenge. Who knows?
Well, why not? If imagine not only that there, like we've talked about the mental trauma of being plugged into your sister's body. Imagine being plugged into your brother's body, who's plugged into an AI mainframe, and you're seeing all this gnarly shit going on. And then maybe you're seeing behind the scenes of the man-eaters, of the actual cause of your distress isn't accidental. you'd be working your own magic too to tear the thing down and bring it all out to the open.
Oh, Heavenly Delusion.
And that's actually a good title, because it is in the school. It's a Heavenly Delusion, because it is a facade, and it just takes you to peel back the layer to realize it's not a nice place. This is a good episode.
Wait, has there been a bad episode yet?
No, but I'm just highlighting this one because it's revealing.
Watch it, people. Watch it.
The two episodes, obviously from each side of the fence, so to speak, let you know it's all building up to how this is going to come together. Next one, Day of Fate. This was, we're sort of following on. I think the main story is the school again, heaven. But we're always getting little tidbits dropped as Kuriku and Muri are sort of traveling. Yeah, the opening scene, that's quite cool. And Murray's just sitting playing a computer game. And of course, the local gangs come in and don't see the danger.
Yeah, he's just there sitting playing his Croc Hunt or whatever the game is called. He does name it, and he says, "Oh, you've got to expect certain things when you're around here, aren't you? What? You listen, are you going to say something?" It's basically just like he's basically just like, "Hi."
It's the, "Hey, I'm trying to pick a fight with you."
Yeah,
and you're always like, "Just get on with it." I hate people to do that.
What a great fight! The fights in this anime are awesome. They're done so well.
But even that Kuriku is back up and goes, "What do you let them one escape for?" They've always got a backup and stuff. So you wonder why Kuriku's there as a bodyguard, because obviously Murray doesn't need one.
I'm saying he can. I don't know. He can pretty much take care of himself, can't he?
Yeah. So was he, in essence, just hiring a companion? I'm always getting those sort of vibes that he just wanted a companion.
It's kind of, but it's like the woman, the person who hired her to watch over him was the woman he was traveling with. The one who died.
Yes.
The one who died with kind of like purple black blotches all over her body,
which we see again.
Which we see again because Tororo, the child who is sick in heaven, has the same black and purple blotches. So, was she a product of heaven? Did she escape from heaven? Questions.
Now I'm thinking, here's the big question. If the timelines are concurrent, if it's not, then that could have possibly been Tokyo, because I didn't really see her fully.
I have no answers.
Do you know what I mean? This is this is where it's all going to come together, because is this
one of these?
Is the stuff in heaven happening in the past or present? I don't think it's the future. Although Taro's drawings, is he drawing them after the fact, telling the story? Is he making them? Is he manifesting them?
Too many questions. Too many questions.
You know what I mean? This is where the way the story's going. We don't know exactly the timeline.
Yeah.
But know they're connected. One is telling the story. One knows the story of the other. One has been in, and we now know the direct link with Mary is his mother. I guess it's his mother, or yeah, bloody hell.
Far too many questions. Far too many questions.
All we know is it's linked. It's all connected.
Yep.
And it's we're getting dropped these little breadcrumbs.
Yep. All we know there is a link, but there's nothing there to tell us exactly what the link is. Good, isn't it?
Yep. And of course, we've got the AI. Once the AI is playing in the game,
yes,
and the humans, they're trying to basically what's going on. I think the director knows that the AI is covering up and not being truthful.
Something is very much going on.
Yep.
It's almost like the question is more, but at the moment the question is more about the school than it is the couple we've got in the outside world.
But we know that the couple in the outside world are the direct interactions, connections with the school.
Yeah, they are linked to the school somehow.
But are they going to come back to the school and meet these kids? Or are they going to come back to the school and it's going to be years later?
I'm pleading the fifth.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
And we're possibly, now that I'm thinking about it, seeing the events of the past in the school, which has led up to Murray. Murray's a direct connection. But it also involves, I don't think it's accidental that Kariki's involved too. I don't think she was hired accidentally. I don't think she was brought into it accidentally. And now I've got the question about the orphanage.
See, I'm not.
What direction of travel and time travel, if you think about it?
I'm just
is the orphanage. So, if it's in current time, the orphanage possibly is a collection center. If it's post time, as in the events in heaven have happened in the past, the orphanage could possibly be an exodus.
The people disappearing, especially children, that was mentioned earlier in the series.
Yep, but then something's happened and they've left, and this is like the remnants of it, and the doctor. And if we know that the doctor can transfer minds, was he trying to do something for himself, but experimenting on others first? But we'll leave off for the next episode because obviously that's where I'm thinking with the.
I was going to say we've got 6 more episodes. Yep. Some of your questions will be answered. Then you'll either have to read the manga or pray for season 2, like the rest of us are.
Wait a couple of years, yeah.
It's like,
But yeah, Kuku and Taka then being because of the boot print, they've been rumbled. However, the doctor or the lab assistant, whoever that is, instead of reporting it, decides to do their own private investigation.
Right, this is my question, yeah. He's looking at the prints on the children's boots and he's trying to match the shoes the children are wearing, and he's trying to match them up. Does that mean that every single child has a different tread pattern on their boots?
Well, that's forensics anyway. That's something that if you leave a boot print, forensics can take a mold of that, and we all have a date. We all wear down the rubber. The sole's a certain way, and it is almost like a fingerprint. So even if everyone's issued the same pair of boots,
very strange.
But it's just interesting the fact that he's doing this on his own and didn't decide to inform anybody.
You think he'd at least inform the director, wouldn't you?
You would. Especially a security breach. So that's what I mean. There's too much. This is not a united. Everyone's working to their own agenda.
Yeah,
This is not a good place.
there are at least, amongst the adults, there are at least 2 agendas.
Mm-hmm. And the AI.
Because it's made of 3. Because there's the director and hair group, and then there's the group that the doctor, scientist, whatever he is, who doesn't inform them of the breach. There's his group. Later on in the next 6 episodes, you will find proof that there are like 2 separate groups.
Yeah.
Without saying too much about it, but
no, but I can see that already. Just that simple fact of not reporting a security breach. Because then they could have narrowed down the fact the AI directed them away.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's one of them things is why you report stuff. Because you reporting something properly, you don't know what else is going on that you haven't seen that could form a picture. It's a whole security thing. But anyway, that's me.
I'm going to be hunting the manga out again.
But yeah, Taro finally expires, and the director, for some reason, is really upset. Consider the fact that he's supposed to be cold, clinical. These are lab rats.
I think the way it's like the way they like the way they released the news that Tower has died, I think.
Oh, that was cold.
It's like that. That was Sub-Zero. That was, and then when they go to see his body, he's basically like displayed. It's kind of like he's lying on a gurney, surrounded by flowers, and they've just put like a cloth over his head. And his entire skin is now like black and purple from whatever this disease was. This unknown disease that they couldn't cure or stop. It's just, but it's like, it's like Taro has died. Bang.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no.
And then we find out that actually that is the whole point. They're grafting, combining the man-eaters with humans.
It's kind of weird because that comes from the guy who tries to hire our good friends to escort him to.
Oh, the ship's captain, or it wasn't a captain.
Yeah, because he's finally got a piece of a man-eater, and there's a rumor that if you graft a piece of man-eater to yourself, like you can, it will grant you immortality.
Yep.
Sounds a lot like the old story about there's a Japanese legend that if you eat the flesh of a mermaid, which is incredibly poisonous, and you survive, you will be granted immortality.
Well, even back here, the story of McCool.
Yeah.
He caught the salmon of knowledge. He was supposed to cook it for the prophet. Not the prophet. The sage.
Yeah.
When he was cooking the fish, he accidentally touched it, burnt his thumb, and did that. And basically rendered the fish useless. So basically, every time he wanted knowledge, he was basically the sage is like, "Nah, you may as well eat the rest of it. You've lost it now." So every time he wanted to have an idea, he just put his thumb to his mouth and would get the knowledge.
A great story.
But yeah, we also have a new development with, even after death, Taro is not quite finished. We'll see this like egg sack thing.
I like that. I like that bit where there's been a new they've cremated his body, and there's just like this knobbly purple lump that's been living inside him. And nobody knows what it is.
This is like a new development, so it's not like this has happened before.
It's because he's like Taro is the second child who's died.
But we didn't see the first one.
You just see it's earlier on. Minihime had kind of like a vision of her.
Oh, the one that she killed herself.
Yeah, she hung the second child, the first child who died.
But this is one of died of
Absolutely hung
disease.
herself.
Yeah.
Disease or corruption. It's like it's
rejection
kind of,
of the symbiotic, whatever. We don't know. Is this the fate for them all? They're trying to slow it down, the process. What is the purpose of these experiments? Is this, once again, timeline? Is this pre-catastrophe or post-catastrophe? So are they what their experiments doing leading up to the catastrophe?
Too many questions. Too many
trying
questions.
to fix and how they say they're trying to have humanity carry forward, but are they? And this is where I'm wondering when Murrow finally gets, because we know that's where the story's going to go. Murrow's finally going to get to heaven.
Yeah.
Is it going to be with these kids still there, or is it going to be years later, like 15 years later?
I could answer these questions. I could answer these questions, but I'm deliberately choosing not to.
I understand why, but I just think the fact,
because if I turn around now and go, this that and the other, you will not thank me for it.
No, and this is why I didn't watch the whole thing to do the review. This is why we deliberately split up the two parts, because it's actually quite fun with these. This is one thing I've noticed about these series. I like the mystery. I like we're unboxing something.
But they mostly
and it's not telegraphed or obvious.
Yeah. Back in ye olden days, not that long ago actually. It's like the origin of the 13th episode in an anime series. Anime series like a single core, like a single season of an anime was always 13 episodes long. But the episode in the middle, episode 7, right in the middle, used to be a recap of what had happened in the first 6 episodes. So it's like if you came into the show halfway through, or if you watched the show and you didn't remember what happened, the entirety of the middle episode would remind you of the things that would happen. It would bring you back up to speed again for the second half of that season. And I used to really enjoy that, but it seems to have dropped out of fashion. They've gotten rid of it, and they now just have like 13 episodes of story. But it gave you a chance to notice all the things that you'd missed in the previous episodes before moving on. And there's a lot to miss in this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like the fact that I'm asking questions and I'm either going to be right or wrong.
I hate the fact that I can't answer them.
Yeah. But the fact that you're not shows me I'm at least picking up the right things.
No,
that makes sense.
Like whether
I'm picking up what it's laying down and it's making me ask the questions.
Halfway through a series, if people ask questions, be they right or wrong, I will not give answers, because if I turn around to someone and go, yes, you're right, or oh, you might be right, or oh, I'm not quite sure about, it's just going to spoil the anticipation for the second half. Of course.
And that's why why I didn't carry on to get the answers. I'm enjoying piecing this together. I'm enjoying the fact that it's the plot is only dropping little tidbits, and you have to pay attention.
It's a great story. But it is literally spoonful by spoonful.
But then we get this. This is a comedic episode, 100% safe water. Like,
right. It in a way though, it's perfect, because it's like we've just had like, let's have a look, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 really, really dark episodes. It's like we've had people having their bodies swapped. We've had weird, monstrous babies. We've had dying children. We've had all kinds of terrible, bad, dark things that have been happening. the fact that this episode is kind of like so comedic is perfect release from all that.
Yeah, it's just that right here. Hit the release valve, and we'll get back to normal.
I've never seen a battery recharged with horny energy in my life.
But yeah, the go to this. Sorry, they're trying to get a map. They find a place with books, and that's what they're going to sell.
100% safe water.
I love the way basically Merlise was into the next apartment next door to sort himself out. He's like, that poor guy is tortured. Like,
So,
he meets the girl of his dreams.
sorting himself out is that what they call it in your part of the world?
Yeah, that's just trying to be polite about it.
It's brilliant. It's so good.
He needs to hit that release valve. I mean,
Like,
the pressure's been
but
building.
it's the fact that like they're still in Tokyo. They're still hiding from like the gang that beat him up, that beat Mao up in the beginning of what was it? It was Cuckoo, wasn't it? No, Day of Fate. He's still hiding from the people who tried to beat him up in the last episode.
Yeah, because he took out the gang leader, and they want revenge, so they're out humping.
Because Kimiko's sitting at a battery charging shop, and they're talking next to her, and she's there hiding behind the newspaper. And it's like, and I can't, what did she say? It's like they walk away saying like, "There's no way they could take him on their own because he took 8 of them out yesterday." And she's like, "That's my Maru. That's my Maru." It's like, wait a minute, why am I feeling proud of him?
Yeah, and this has popped up a couple of episodes. She's starting to get confused. She's actually starting to reciprocate the feelings.
Can you blame her, him, whatever?
Yeah.
But you think it's like he's got all those hormones and things raging around in his body.
And bits and signals
bits and signals. Okay.
Yep, and also they're in the post-apocalyptic world, so they don't have like normal relationships. It's just that's it. So it's either a life of just animalistic survival or the chance of human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a fact. She gets back to the room where they've been hiding, and he's not there. Her reaction. That is panic done properly. That is panic done right. Because she can't find him. And he eventually comes charging out of the apartment next door. Where he was looking for books that would help them.
Well, it's more self-help book he was looking for. And I just love the fact that she's you're only using porn. That's okay.
Yeah, you're using the porn. That's fine. But no. I wasn't using it. In fact, I wasn't even looking at it.
Yeah. We've all been there.
She didn't believe him either.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you. 2 hours odds into the stream.
Hey, Chris. What do you mean? Nearly 3 hours into the stream.
Oh, for sake.
Oh yeah. See, you must have enjoyed this one because it's stretching out.
Well, it's one of them things. If it's really confusing, then yeah, we're going to talk about it. But if there's plenty of plot going on, which there is in this, plus we've went on a few tangents.
Only a couple,
which is normal.
It's perfectly so. So yeah, basically it's like, so it's nice to know that although the apocalypse has happened and it's like 15 years after the apocalypse, porn still exists.
It's the eternal.
It will never change.
No. How many centuries have people tried to ban it?
This is true.
It's part of us.
The church couldn't do it. No one will do it.
Yep. So they get this map, and Yeah. If something's going, this area is really, really safe, you should go there. And the fact that they haven't learned from the hotel, or the bed and breakfast, whatever that was in the country.
Yeah, but we've seen this in like so many films and other things. What happens when there's like a catastrophe? The first thing that happens is civilization crashes. The second thing is everybody gets really naive. It says on this map there's 100% water there and it's really, really safe. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. But they were told there was a man-eater, but it turns out just to be an ordinary bear.
I've got to say, I wouldn't touch that water. Not if people paid me.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. It's coming out of a culvert, and
it's still water. It's gathered in like a basement parking garage. It's not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
There's a guy bleeding heavily into it. I mean,
yeah, that was a bit that got me. There's
like,
bodies on. It's not 100% safe anymore. I was always taught the hill walking and stuff is fast flowing over rocks.
Yes.
If you're going to drink water, fast flowing over rocks. That's what you look for.
Either have a packet of those water cleansing tablets, and even after you've cleaned it,
No, but even if you do,
boil it.
Yeah.
Even if it's fast running over water, you're supposed to boil it.
No, but if you're, stuck out, like certain that you're up the hills, you're elevated enough that it's fine. But you don't go for pools of water.
Yeah,
you don't go for
I'd be all right drinking from a stream as long as there's no sheep around, because I don't fancy getting liver flu.
Yeah, but once again, that's the whole point. Fast flowing over rocks. The rocks act as a filter, and it's not gathering anything. So if it's slow moving, if it's stream and it's slow moving, don't go near it.
It's like, so I know, like even if you get stagnant water, even if you boil it and collect the steam, the water's still going to be shit.
Yeah,
it's still going to make you ill.
That's what I mean. It was just a quick rule, and it's amazing when you're looking for that how little water's like that out there, the streams and stuff.
Yeah,
most streams just trickle.
Yeah,
basically what they're trying to say is elevation. Is the higher you get, obviously it's coming out of the spring.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a chance to get contaminated yet. The lower it goes down the valleys.
That's
where animals gather.
If the apocalypse happened, how many people would die from bad water in the first few months?
Oh, there's people can't even tie their own shoelaces today. Like I said, I'm lucky enough. I did Duke of Edinburgh's Award. I was in the army. I went out hiking. I know how to look after myself. The only problem is now I'm old and knackered. But I reckon I have a good go at it still. But I have to go right back to basics.
Oh, that's it. I know the basics enough to have a go. But it's just a question of like, can I be asked to get out of bed in the morning?
The only problem is I've got a black thumb, so I can't grow anything for shit. That's really bad how I feel because I can't.
I can grow blackberries.
I'm not growing a vegetable garden because it would be dead.
I can grow blackberries just for the simple reason that you can't kill them.
I can't even grow blackberries. I've tried multiple times to get blackberry bushes going, and they keep dying on me.
Yeah, there's brambles in my front yard that are about an inch thick.
They've
been there for years. I just trim them back every so often.
No, I've tried to do it in the pot, so I have it in my balcony, but I just couldn't get it to happen.
Tomatoes are the best place to start.
Yeah, but then you need a greenhouse.
No, just have a grow bag and keep them in the corner of the kitchen.
Anyway,
post-apocalyptic.
That's my feeling. So I'll need a gardener.
And we're back on tomatoes. Tomato heaven has really affected us.
But talk about affecting somebody. They end up getting trapped up this.
It's like I love the scene before this when this monster chases them. It's this like hideous, like chunky furred, kind of like bear, almost skeletal face kind of thing, and it runs after them. And they manage using the Kiru beam. They manage to shoot this big concrete pillar down. It lands and it knocks it out. And he's like, Mario jumps on, what is it? It's like fatal dive, superhero pose, slams his fist into it. Nothing happens. It just opens its eyes and looks at him. I love that bit because man-eater is not a man-eater. It's a bear and it looks a bit mangy.
Yeah.
I love that. How the hell did they get up that tower, though?
Well, he has abilities, and she was able to, through pure adrenaline, scramble up that set of ladders.
No, it takes all my adrenaline to roll over in the middle of the night. I mean, I don't believe that. I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't got that energy when I was like 20 odd. Phew.
Well, this is army. Still, the offer.
Oh, Annie, man.
The magical offer.
The bit where she's like, "Have you got? How many shots have you got in that gun?" I think it's one. I'll warm the battery up a bit. Takes the battery out, breathing on it. Then she's like, "Hey, Maru, yeah, what is it? Let's say one of three things has happened. Okay, right. First, I've dropped the battery. We never did find out what 2 and 3 were, did we? We never did find out what 2 and 3 were. He's like, I've dropped the battery.
Yeah.
Like, arrow appears on the screen, flashing, pointing towards where the battery is on the ground. Jump down and pick it up for me. No, there's nothing you can do that will make me go down there. I'll let you touch my boobs. He's on the top and jumping down. My God.
Yep.
It just takes the right offer to make someone do something.
And if you're at the right age, not yet, that we've all been there. Even thought like been in the bar and then you talking to this person's absolutely boring you to tears. Nice dragging like I'm going through this, I'm going to do it. Yep. We've all done it. Grabbing their helping their coat and all, pick it up and being nice and stuff. Just for the chance. Yeah.
But I mean, facing an angry bear, though.
But he is besotted as well.
Can't help but feel sorry for the poor sod, to be actually. I mean,
he is getting tortured, and it gets worse this episode. But yeah, sorts out gets it up, sorts out the bar. That's done. They find out that 100% safe water was a trap. Surprise, surprise. And in fact, those two that were mauled were actually planning to jump them. And you think that would be it, but then we'll have all the weirdness in the hotel.
I do like the bit where they come, like a gang comes to find them, and like the owner of the hotel is just kind of like, no, they just delivered them, didn't even give their names, they left. Because it's like the hotel itself is a trap. And they're kind of like hiding in one of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Then because there has to be that kind of episode in every single anime ever created, lewdness enters the scene.
I just love the way she jumps Maru.
Yeah, it's the bit where Maru's there with Kiriko, and it's kind of like, it's like, right, it's time to go to sleep. Isn't it nice that we've got separate rooms and we can react? No, big sis. And it's like you've forgotten something important. Oh, what's that? I jumped and got your battery. I want my reward. And she's like, oh, you do realize I'm a bloke in here, yeah? It's like you basically, this is what I look like. Holds the picture of herself. Holds the picture of herself.
Yeah, and we didn't agree for how long and blah blah blah.
So would you be okay groping a boy? Yes. And then she starts trying to set rules, and
just like, get them out and let me touch them. You promised.
The hotel owner walks in, and she's like, the guests. points to a sign on the wall. It says, "Keep the room tidy." Gets the flashlight. Another sign next to the wall. "Don't get the futon dirty." That kind of thing isn't allowed here. Grabs hold of Maru, drags her into, is it his room, her room? I'm not quite sure. And basically pounces on him like a cat pouncing on some poor, unsuspecting mouse. He does have it rough. I don't know how he copes.
But the thing is, the fact that he got all weird about it,
Right.
instead of like,
Right. Did you see why he got weird though? Because it's like she like. I apologize to this our humble audience. She pulls the dress over her head, yeah. Grabs hold of his hand, crushes it against one of her breasts, yeah. At which point he almost kills her.
oh yeah, the bit where
Because he's like final dive or Maru touch or whatever they've called it now actually like starts to affect her. At which point he falls away, and he's like ah. He's like, sis, Kiriko, come quick. It went in. She walks through the door. The misunderstanding happens. And the next time we see him, he's got one of those big comedy, massive, great lumps on top of his head where someone's hit him.
well, the fact she was bent over.
The fact she was on her hands and knees and he was like kneeling behind her, holding her waist. Yeah. So I've been an anime fan for years. I'm used to these developments. It's like, come on, you laughed, didn't you? I laughed. God.
No, it was just ridiculous.
That's
right. I forgot that was that bit. I thought it was just afterwards.
It was
when she left.
It was absolutely awesome. She's going to be the king of hotels, clean rooms, aired out futons, the lot.
Yep, shag everybody that she wants.
Yeah, she's going to be the king of hotels. She's going to feed them. There's going to be clean rooms. She's going to have sex with all the people she likes.
But here's the question: then, does that mean Murray can't? Because
I've never thought of that question before. But I mean, right. Does his ability, however, require skin-to-skin contact?
Well, he's done it with. That's what he does with the man-eaters. He touches them.
Yeah, he just like puts his hand on them. So he'd probably be all right wearing gloves. And I think we can kind of work out he can't do it to himself.
So basically like Rogue and Lefman.
Yeah. Kiriko could always keep his t-shirt on. She's fine. Oh, the image. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was just like, poor guy can't get a break at all.
He's kind of like the hero and like the comic element in this as well. He's a really likable character.
And then I was thinking as well, is it because he's in love with Kiriko that he was awkward about the whole thing? He's not just typical, hey, I'm getting some.
It's like...
Because he was resisting even before then.
Yeah, but there's his reaction when he got to cop a boob feel where he was just kind of like, oh, most excited teenager ever.
Yes and no. Because it wasn't hers. I think he's actually sorted, like he's in love with Kiriko. That's it. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to,
So. He's been traveling with her for all of a couple of weeks. Of course, he'd be besotted with her.
But then again, it's...
Mind you,
compared that to going on dates, like being in a tense situation for an extended period of time, really getting to know someone.
So could
to going on a few dates with somebody and thinking that's it?
Could it be a dependence kind of thing?
Not really, because he can look after himself. We've seen that.
Yeah, but
there's a scene in the sleeping bag as well where he's thinking about stuff and like he's pressed up against her. He's like, "No, God, no."
No. That's the last episode.
Was that next one?
That's the next one.
Oh, right.
They're sleeping in this closet, and he's kind of like, I can't think of all the right things.
Can't she?
Quick, think of liver and onions.
Yep.
But yeah, it's oh no, I've been scrolling up and that way. Where are we? Here we are. But yeah, it's kind of like, and then we get the bit at the end where they're leaving the hotel after this girl's basically like, you could say, saved their lives by not turning them in to like the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And we discover that the boss has died, and he was actually a really nice bloke who really helped people and looked after the people who were like under him.
Yeah, because when they're trying to rescue them.
Yeah. Because they said because she said, sure, she says something about the fact she was at an orphanage and there was children disappearing and the orphanage fell to pieces. But it doesn't say how long ago it was. So was she actually someone who was living at the same orphanage as Kyoko?
We don't know.
No idea. I'm actually umming and ahhing about going back to that episode and having a look to see if there's anyone who looks like her in there. Oh, what's that thing? What's that thing when she says when she molests Mary? Would you like me to leave the bandana on? Oh God!
Yeah, this was naughty.
It was funny. It was funny.
Like you said, we needed it because there's a lot of dark chicken on. And
I mean, it's like that's just it. It kind of like it's literally if you watch it again, every time something like really dark happens, there'll be like a slap around the face with a wet fish, just following it. There'll be something that will make you smile, make you laugh.
Yeah, because you need to, because you can't. It's all that levity. You need to be brought down again so you can go back up. It's the same as I've seen horror movies that rely 100% on jump scare and they play the really intense music throughout.
Yeah,
and then you become desensitized. The worst one is it's a Canadian movie called Spiral.
Heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Witchcraft, and it's shit because they played it dun dun dun. Yeah, it gets really horrible screeching music the whole way through it, so you've no indication of up or down. It's all drama.
My favorite jump scare of all time, slight tangent, won't be long, is in a film called A Tale of Two Sisters. It's a Korean horror film.
Yes,
and it's like there is.
Is it the bit at the end where it all?
It's in the kitchen while they're having a meal.
The cupboard.
Yes, there is no lead up to it whatsoever. It's just like
the end of that movie is bonkers.
That A Tale of Two Sisters has the official title of the last horror movie I watched that shit me up. It actually a jump scare that actually made me jump. Love that film.
Yeah,
which is why I got the DVD of it over there.
The whole plot gets explained at the end and the sequence of events. And the whole thing with the nanny, the babysitter.
It's such a good story.
Oh yeah,
it's such a good story. It's so well written.
That was the first movie I covered in the movie marathon I did.
Oh wow! Well, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to.
That was fresh. That was movie one.
Wow.
And 48 hours later, you'd have to
blah 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 blah. And now
so what's that one was all nice and fresh. Great.
It deserves being. It deserves being. It's a film that actually not a lot of people I know have heard about it.
Well, the reviews on the channel.
Folks. I think every single person I've lent the DVD to have come back and said, you know what, that's a really good film.
Korean horror is great. There's another one. Yeah, they really have stepped up. They almost took the crown from J-horror because
it's only a matter of time. I mean, things like
The Last Train to Busan and The Witch 2. Those two are mental. Talk about experiments of cruelty to kids and stuff.
Yeah, they
that's live action.
That's one of the things. It's like it's almost like here in the West, it's kind of like. If we disagree, it's almost like horror has become like another genre. In certain cases, certain directors, horror has become another genre, and it's just kind of like it toes the same line. It's like
especially mainstream stuff like Blumhouse is the worst.
It feels like it's just kind of like the same stuff over and over again. because it's like it is my opinion. A lot of people agree with me. Alien should have just been the one film. So Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Covenant, Prometheus, Covenant, Romulus. None of them should have been created. Alien should have been just like a standalone film on its own. Because it's the entirety of the story. You don't need any of this Weyland-Yutani crap. You don't need like people trying to escape from unhappy places or prison camp or prison planets and things like that. Alien on its own as a standalone film is absolutely incredible. Even now, after 40 odd years nearly.
Yeah, those sound dumb, but I don't know. I enjoyed Aliens for what it was.
Aliens is more of an action movie than a horror movie.
Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was. After that, but like I said, now I'm done with the franchise. I'm just burnt out.
Alien was the only Alien.
No interest whatsoever next month watching Alien Earth.
No, I'm not going to bother with that. Unless it turns out to be really, really, unless Alien Earth turns out to be really, really, really bad, in which case I might watch a few episodes just to find out why it's really bad, so I can turn around to people who are crazy for it and go, "Told you so."
I'm getting Resident Evil vibes. That shitty TV series.
I know it hasn't been out yet, but I actually think the Resident Evil television series could actually could be better than Alien Earth.
Well, I only lasted 45 minutes into the first episode.
Oh wow!
Started in the freaking teen shit, high school teen shit. You know.
Like they're all adults, but they're acting like love strict.
No, the teenagers doing fucking going to high school and doing all teeny bopper shit. Halfway through the first episode.
So basically, it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I give up. Honestly, just give up. No interest. I didn't even make it through because I think with the ads it was like 45. I didn't finish off the first episode.
We should the people who created it. We should send them a link to this.
No, because then they'll get ideas and they'll remake it and they'll fuck it up.
A live action version of that.
Yeah,
See, I'm pure vibe with the live action version of this.
If it's not done by Hollywood,
like if it was
doesn't
made
have to be Domyakified.
If it was made in Japan, because Japan does it kind of like backwards. Like you'll get like over here, it's like you'll get the film.
Well, the Bleach live action was decent, and that was made in Japan. It wasn't made in America.
But it's like anime and like normal like television, like the way America and the rest of the world do it. It's kind of like film, television series, comic. Whereas in Japan, it's comic, television series, film. Well, it's television. It's like comic, animated television series, live action television series, film.
Yeah, well,
and they stick to the story.
They need to stay away. They need to stay away from that stuff.
It's like please don't.
It's as fine as it is.
It's like a clear as left Warner Brothers. Praise Jesus.
If you suggest that again, I'm going to make you watch the Cowboy Bebop live action as your punishment. And even worse, I'll make you watch the Death Note movie.
Sick bastard.
That's
the problem is, it's like as soon as Netflix or Crunchyroll get hold of a franchise, you know whatever they make from it is going to be bad.
Yeah. Honestly, that is the worst thing. See that Death Note movie? Oh my god!
I haven't seen all the anime. I must watch it.
The anime is good. The anime is good, and it ends.
But it's like
brilliant. It does end cleverly and in tone with the characters and the Shimigami and their behavior. And it's telegraphed how it would end from the start. From what the Shimigami says.
I'm just thinking it's either Netflix or Crunchyroll is releasing a movie of an old anime, and I'll be damned if I can remember what it is off the top of my head. The movie is basically episodes 1, 2, 6, 9, 12, and 13 put back to back. It's So they're not even like rejigging it to make a proper movie. It's just back-to-back episodes that tell the main plot.
Okay.
But it's like if they actually take a series and they make a movie out of it, they actually in Japan they actually reanimate the entire thing. So you actually you'll sit down to watch a movie. Say they made a movie of this, yeah.
Mhm.
You'd sit down and watch it. One of the draws for watching it would be the fact that the entire thing has been animated differently. So it's like if you've got a scene that's taken from the left-hand side in the film version, the movie will be taken from the other side or from a different camera angle. Fights will be different, generally because it's not being on television, because it's going onto the big screen. The animation will be way more detailed. Because if you blow up standard like television size animation, you can see all the flaws in it. Not so much since everyone's gone over to doing it on computer, but I mean, look at Akira. All you've got to do is look how good Akira looks on a big screen.
Mhm. Still does they. And I'm so glad Warner Brothers have lost the rights. I'm so glad.
See, it's just like,
Like,
it's just like
that's what I am. Phew,
like-
that's not going to happen.
yeah. But I asked myself,
Having a big Taika Waititi's name next to
like,
it.
I asked myself the question, because I'm a sadist at heart. How bad could it be? We'll never find. I mean, it could be. I mean, it's.
I'm happy not finding out.
I've got 2 arms. I can chew one of them off to survive a movie. I mean, it'd be fine.
But it getting absorbed by one of these things.
Yeah, I'd have deliberately gone and see it just to see how bad it was.
Anyway, episode 7, The Immortal Order.
The Immortal Order.
Get it wrapped up for this bit. Kuriko is now being a complete bitch.
Right, without I don't know if Kyoko has kind of accepted the fact that she has feelings for Maru, or whether it's like hormones is making them do it unconsciously. I've no idea.
You had a chance. I'm now jealous because you had a chance with another woman. I'm not having that. That's a typical bitch thing.
There is quite a lot of jealousy there, isn't there?
Absolutely, 100%. Like, it's just at that moment from the last episode that all came to the fore.
And we're now on our way to meet the Immortal Order.
Yeah, and then we'll have these protesters making their signs and stuff, and we're hearing these rumors of Dr. Uzumi. And we never found out the doctor's name.
He's only known as he's only been known as the Doctor.
The Doctor, yeah.
Even when there were scenes with him and Robin, it's like they only ever called him the Doctor.
Yeah. So we don't know, is this the Doctor or just a Doctor?
Yeah. But it's like the description that like the leader of the protesters gives about the hospital and the things that are happening in it. That'd be a great film all on its own. Just the hospital itself.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a nexus point in the plot.
I can't. I've got to be careful not to say too much though, because episode 8.
Yeah, I was so like, I mean, I was that close to
it's like the cliffhanger at the end of this. Well done for not watching the next episode.
Yeah, I was.
Because
it took me a lot. That was a lot of willpower.
It's such a good cliffhanger just to like not press the next button or just let it run.
I didn't have much willpower to put that packet of Pringles and munch them in one go earlier.
Yeah, I've eaten an entire packet of like chipsticks.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to.
I've drunk a litre of pop.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be fat anymore, and I'm feeling miserably today. I just broke. Like, I need ice cream. I need beer. I need junk food.
You needed ice cream to bring your internal temperature down before you overheated and ended up in the hospital with heat stroke. You needed like
Pringles. Why did I buy 2 ice creams then? Why is there one in the freezer that I'm thinking about right now?
That's ready for so you don't suffer heat stroke tomorrow. After that, they've given it to cool down a bit. You've had to eat the Pringles because you could be sweating all day. And you've had to put the salt back in your body.
That's it. Okay.
Same.
And these that have snarfed them won't go.
It's like
they make no sense whatsoever.
Like hydration, non-alcoholic hydration.
Yeah, still plenty of hydrating devices. Anyway, yeah, Kuriku is like something has rattled Kuriku.
Do you think it could be the sight of Maru with another woman?
I think it was. I think that's unlocked something.
Because it's since she was like sitting in the battery recharging shop, going like, "Heh, that's Maru for you." She's been kind of a bit weird around him.
It is like it really is like teenagers discovering the horror, even though she technically 25. But then again, if Kuriku has the mind of a 15-year-old boy now,
it's like she was
15-18-year-old boy.
5 years older than her brother, so he's what? He's like he says he's only 20 because I think
we all know what we're like when we're 20.
Yeah, Maru's like, wait.
The small brain took charge and just led us around the place.
Yeah, Maru's like, wait, you're 20. So I thought you said you were born before the. I thought you said you were like born before the catastrophe.
Yeah.
Or remembers the catastrophe or something like that. But yeah, it's like the protesters, the image of what they give you happening inside the hospital, and the fact that the main grudge is the fact the leader of the protesters lost a leg,
but was given a metal monstrosity,
given an artificial one instead.
And it's one of them racing blades as well.
It's a running blade. Damn, those things aren't cheap.
Yeah, that's like only come out. Athletes use those things.
Yeah, they were what's it? I think the time when this was released, it wasn't long since oh no, what was his name? Oscar Pistorius.
Oh, Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, it wasn't long after he like literally obliterated everybody in the Paralympics running on blades. Because he ran in races with able-bodied runners and still beat them.
Yeah. Once again, amazing piece of technology. Have you seen what they've done now with mobile technology for hands?
Oh,
So basically, the inside's a sensor. As if it's a mobile, using the technology from mobile phones.
Yeah.
So that if you've got an amputation here, it's actually the muscle. If you still have the amputation here, for example, and you've still got the muscle ability, there's enough signal of the tendons and muscles that actually this can translate into movement. It's bloody amazing.
Frankenstein science.
That's once again, I've always said, imagination, good storytelling leads. It sticks in your brain. It gets things to work. And people who are technologically minded, or even if you're just you go that train of thought, and you maybe put that train of thought to someone else who's. This is how things happen. I'm so angry now that storytelling is effectively being killed. And people are dumbed down because it's killing us.
You're still allowed to use your imagination, but you're not allowed to go there with it or there with it. You're not allowed to. The problem isn't imagination. The problem is there are so many people out there who are telling us how we can think.
Yeah, exactly. That's not how imagination works.
Yeah, it's like these people are getting into role playing, which is why like every single role playing game that's released today has got like X cards and trigger warnings. So it's like, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and like you don't like blood, you can make it so your GM doesn't mention blood. If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you don't like killing things, you can make it so you don't have to kill anything. It's what Dungeons and Dragons is all about. Kill the thing, steal its money,
or make a new game. Make a different game. Run your own. Don't impose into other people's.
Well, there are some really good, really nice player-friendly games out there. Yeah. But when they try and take a game that's been out there pretty much unchanged for 50
But
odd
that's
years.
why it's not the process. It's the process of changing it just for the sake to go, haha,
Yeah,
that was yours. It's ours now. Up yours.
It's kind of
That's
like
what it's all about.
if this game isn't selling, let's try and make it more trendy so that people want to buy it.
Well, they're trying to sell it as a mobile app. That's when Hasbro took over and they fucked it up. I've briefly talked about this, but it's even then, Dungeons and Dragons is mainstream as hell. It's
like Dungeons and Dragons. It's a great place to start, but there are way better games out there when you actually want to start, serious storytelling.
Like I said, I'm mainly a Call of Cthulhu player, so I find Dungeons and Dragons very tame.
Like I play games that are grimmer and darker than Call of Cthulhu. I play things like Seventh Seal, Little Fears, games that nobody's heard of.
There's, what I mean, and there's the options there. You can go as dark as you want, or you can go as light as you want.
But you can go as dark.
Like Size Game End of Kings is you can play that as light or as dark as you want.
Yeah.
Candela Obscura, there's a nice light game. That's
Morkborg. It's a good laugh.
If you want to go super dark and eat babies.
Morkborg. I haven't eaten a baby yet.
Well, you've only been back. You've only been in for one session. Give it a minute.
Yet.
There's every opportunity.
I do bite people to death, however.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's that game you can really let rip. So instead of changing the game, just find the right players.
Yeah.
And the people that like what you do. And guess what? In the online, I know we're going off on another tangent here, but in the online world, it's easier for you to find your people than ever before.
See, we've got to go off on tangents. We've got to go off on tangents because we're on episode 7 already and we've not been 4 hours yet.
No, that's I'm about, like, if there's a really light game and it wasn't my thing, I wouldn't go, I want it darker because that's how I like things. I'll just go, no thanks, or I'll play a game in the spirit of the game.
You could take the lightest game in the world, and you could run it as a horror game.
Yeah, horror is a storytelling device.
Because that is the glory. That is the glorious thing about horror. Horror, you can shift anything into horror.
You cross that line.
It's like nowadays they don't want you to. It's like you're not allowed to have anything. They don't want you to have anything horrific in a game in case that game upsets a person.
And I'm very much like, well, if you're the type of person that's upset.
It's like if you're going to get upset, why are you playing?
Build a good social network, right? If you're that, honestly, if you've got that sort of problem, find a good social network. Right. People you trust who will guide you in the right direction.
I'm a horrible person, right? I warn people. I tell people before I start playing a game. I tell people what that game is going to be like. Once that game starts, I will not change it for anybody. If I've said there's going to be a game that involves, say, I don't know, bloody dismemberment, torture, things like that, people being burnt at the stake, and you turn around and go, no, I'm not up for this. Why did you sign up for the game then?
Mm-hmm. No, but that's some people that deliberately, it's bad faith actors ruin everything. If what I've noticed, though, people I know who genuinely have issues, they discover coping mechanisms. They will, like, if they don't like certain things in books, they'll ask their friends, have you read this book? Does it have? And their friends will tell them yes or no. Normal, anyone can have an issue with something. And the normal way is that you get that network around you, people you trust, get their opinions, or find ways to subtly find out without ruining the story for yourself. They're fine. Those people you never hear from because they don't cross your door. Because I'm not going to be in the same realm as someone like that because I go to dark places. So that's fair enough. However, the ones that want to change everything, they just want attention. They just want to feel powerful because they're shitty people. And they've no social skills, and they can't build friendships because they don't know how to, because they're broken in the head. and they'll never be happy. There'll never be enough of them, and it's not about them. It's about destroying. They're jealous of you for having a good time, so there's a resentment there, and that's just the way they work. So they've done it with anime too.
They tried to do it with anime. Look what happened with them. I'm not going to mention any groups' names, especially not Sweet Baby Inks. But
how employable are you if you've got Sweet Baby Ink on your CV
these days?
Today,
absolutely not.
If you put that on your CV that you're part of, how employable are you?
The damage they tried to do to anime. They had a massive campaign where they went on. It was like, no, anime creators, companies that create anime, you must do this, you must have that, you must have more inclusivity, you must do this, you must have that. This person needs to say, that person needs to say, and the entire, almost the entire anime community, anime computer games, community turned around and said, do you know what? Fuck off, because it's like. These games aren't. It's like this anime isn't inclusive enough to be shown in the West. Do you know what? We're not making it in the West. We're making it for the Japanese home market.
And guess what? If you make something true and relevant, and you make it well, people flock to it.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason why the American comic book industry, for example, is dead. You go to any comic book store, and it's 90% manga.
Yeah, I haven't read. Well, I have. I still read Batman, but I haven't read many American comics now for a long time. My shelves used to be full of graphic novels. It's all manga. It's all manga now.
Yeah. The only one I got recently was Judge Dredd Batman crossover, because Judge Dredd's in it.
Oh, you see,
because I had that years ago and I wanted to get it again.
That in itself is classic. Also, anything Judge Dredd. But even Judge Dredd isn't as like gutsy and edgy as it used to be.
No, I'm collecting the back episodes. I'm not bothered with the new stuff. Yeah. Once they did that defund the police shit, I'm like, do you know what? Fuck off. I'm not interested. So I'll collect back episodes. Or Heavenly Delusion, which is next on my list now, for fuck's sake. This is on my list now.
I will warn you. Yeah, some of the volumes. Kind of a tangent, not really. I hate the way the West does manga, because it's like I say, in the East, it's kind of like the comic gets to a point where its popularity is so high that it has an anime made of it. Yeah. In the West, it's like if an anime seems to be doing quite well while it's being shown, they'll release the manga for it. Pretty much as soon as the anime is finished showing, boom, that's it. There are volumes of Heavenly Delusion which are quite hard to get hold of. I'm still missing. It's either 3 or 4. I'll have to find out.
Oh dear.
But it's the same. It's the same with everything. It's like Boogie Pop. I can't believe you found 1 through 3 of Boogie Pop Phantom for like.
I was worried.
Yeah,
I was worried that was going to be a scam, and I was going to have to get in touch with Amazon to get it refunded. But when I popped through the door on Friday, I'm like,
I paid for the nose for mine.
I don't know. I was reasonable price as well for Boogie Pop and others. Yeah, as well.
I haven't got Boogie. It won't help you understand it anymore.
No, I'll have a go. Like I said, we're still going
to it will.
After this, we've still got to spin the wheel. It could come back up, and it's going to come back up at some point.
But Boogie Pop and Others, though, is actually based on like more of this. It's not a standalone story, which is nice.
Yeah, cool.
You have to excuse me. I got so wound up by role playing and the way mangas I've had to eat chocolate. I've had to eat chocolate.
So we don't see heaven in this. We don't see the school. This isn't really like this.
No, it's like this. This one is like, this is literally the first episode where it's only like focused on one side of the story.
I had to laugh because obviously they meet the protesters and basically find out that they're protesting against the Immortal Order, and they wanted to get them first.
Yeah.
They got sucked in.
They're very typical protesters, aren't they?
Yep. But the thing that gets me was Mujihashi's speech. That is so today. That is, we are living her speech. We are living that right now.
It's like why can't like real world leaders come up with speeches of that caliber? That was a great speech, except for the bit where she rips a fake leg off and chucks it at the crowd,
and then goes poof,
and then falls over and keeps preaching her piece while she's lying on the floor.
Yeah. We will not be destroyed. But yeah, the whole fact that people don't think anymore, that they just give me answer, and YouTube's just brought a thing in. They're busy cleansing all AI content because people are just putting a few prompts in, generating videos and pumping this shit out, like just overwhelming the platform. I had to do a thing in the background where I showed my face to prove it was me and turn left and right and stuff. To show that there's a real creator behind the channel.
AI, there's nothing intelligent.
But that's what people are doing. People aren't even
all creative AI. All creative AI can do is copy what it's already found.
Yep.
So if I turn around to AI now and go like, draw me a picture of Tokyo from Heavenly Delusion, it'll just copy what it can find on the net. There will be no originality in there whatsoever, and that's what when AI actually starts to when it actually starts to create like individual works of art, like you go to AI and go like, I don't know, paint me a picture of like a woman holding a baby, and it doesn't look like a Madonna. It's actually like its own interpretation of a woman holding a baby. When it actually gets the ability to like create like original things, that's when I'll start to worry about AI.
Yeah, well, I started playing about it for promo photos. So when basically for each of the volume, Horrific Tales volumes come out, I've done like a promo picture and basically a synopsis of each story. Just to put out as a.
If you don't like if you can't do it yourself, it's absolutely brilliant. It's like most.
But that's not something I'm going. For example, with the next volume, a book that's coming out, I've paid the artist. The artist, we're having the conversations, drawing it. Do you know what I mean? That's
I know. IMT users.
No AI whatsoever. That's purely artists drawing them. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. That's why it's taking so long, because it's been properly drawn and we're going back and forth.
Yeah,
Chris is doing the poses. It's great. It's so much.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it.
Anyway, I was doing these sort of promo things, and I asked AI to do, okay, I need the baby's eyes yellow.
Oh, so
came back, both eyes were yellow. I'm like, no, just the baby's eyes, not the adult's eyes. And then it did something, I just went wibble. I lost my shit.
Right. It cannot differentiate between the adult and the baby.
Even though it drew the picture.
Yeah. It cannot differentiate between them. So if you tend to give it yellow eyes, everyone gets yellow eyes.
Yeah, but people are using it. Like I said, people use that for these shitty videos, and they're just flooding everything. And then people are not using. They're not being inspired by somebody using imagination.
Yeah,
it's a whole cyclical thing.
Yeah, that's I look at various like art posting sites for like to look for ideas, maybe backgrounds for like role playing games I'm writing or working on, and it's like the amount of these sites that have just been like swamped by AI images where everyone looks the same, has the same proportions, all the backgrounds are the same. It's just like a couple of 100 pictures of the same person, and they just like swamping the entire site out so you can't find what you want.
Well, there's now countermeasures. YouTube's doing, for example, because it's going to kill its own platform, because people are just going to eventually get pissed off, leave, and then they're not going to. What's the point of advertising? Is to actually get in front of a human, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if that just gets, they're about to lose, a lot, just because people think they can put a few prompts in and that's it. They could be a creator. They're not prepared to put the effort in. It actually annoys me because people do that sort of shit and they succeed.
Yeah.
I bust my balls in this channel.
It's
all this shit in the background that they do and make sure that this is all, being prepared for every stream.
AI created content is like cardboard, yeah. It does its job and that's it. There's no character to it. There's no individuality to it. Eventually, people are going to get tired of it. I mean, I think the reason why people are going mad about AI and things like that at the moment is because like it's easy. It's like I'll use like art as an example again. It allows people who otherwise would have no talent to create the things they want. Because instead of having to draw it, all you've got to do is write it, and then you can just like you can like say I don't know woman in the garden holding a daffodil, something like that. And then you just tell it to replicate the image a couple of 100 times and pick out the best ones.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I've done it for promo shots, but they're not valuable to me. As in, I'm not passing them off as art. They're just to go to the book that people have actually written.
Yeah,
and even better, I'll bring the authors on so you get to meet them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is like, okay, not only do you get to see me, and I'm not going to stand here or sit here like an arsehole and set myself up because that's stupidity. But also, I'm going to bring the authors on board who have got involved, and you're going to get to meet them and listen to them and talk to them, hear their opinions. And then you can decide then if you enjoy their work, which I hope people do. I put all that effort in, and then some arsehole does an AI thing, pumps it out, and gets 100,000 sales. And then people complain about AI, and I'm just like, fuck's sake, you just lose it. Anyway, needless to say, at least I'm not Murray. Poor Murray. That poor boy.
Who wants hormones?
Didn't even get the finish with his wank mag. Like, this is how bad his life is.
It's like,
even had that interrupted. So he's sitting with blue balls like for about 3 episodes now.
He gets one chance. It goes all. He gets
offered him on a platter.
One chance, totally consensual with gusto. And it just kind of like,
and he gets bopped in the head. That's all he gets is bopped in the head.
It's like now the guy who's like the guy who's like no, you can't touch me, you can't touch me whatsoever because I'm a bloke, is like totally debating him. It's like, wow, it's like
yeah,
he may be a bloke but the bitch, it's
you're a complete bitch. Doesn't matter. That bitch moves out. Well,
and you get the feeling that of all the things that aren't going to be solved by the end of this, Maru and Kyoko are going to be 2 of them.
Yeah.
Not that I am neither confirming nor denying that. I'm just putting the idea out there.
But even let's say, for example, my theory about Kuroko being in the AI body, and that's actually her brother's half body in that AI thing that I only just thought of during this review. Yep. And they swap back, and Kuroko becomes fully herself again. That's not who Murray is in love with.
No, because
it's not the body. It's
not the body. It's the personality.
Yes.
Because it's like he says when the first time he says I love you, it's like he's finally found a woman he can get on with, who's on his wavelength.
Yep. So there's that. This is almost going to end. It's almost going to end like a Greek tragedy.
As I say, if it wasn't so funny, I'd cry. To be quite honest.
Well, they're using comedy with this, but there's a whole tragic undertone to it. That's and a whole sense of validation as well. Because don't forget, this starts from a doctor's whim wanting to perform an experiment. You know, there's a darkness to this. And we'll keep, you know, they're doing a comedic fashion, but I think when they go back to the heaven, the school, we're reminded of the darkness.
Yes.
And this is, once again, moment of levity. But talk about a cliffhanger for this. So they go into, they're basically, they're told that the only way the protesters can get into the Immortal Order is there's a man-eater in the
through the only way they can get in, they can't go through the front door, they've got to go through the basement. But there's a man, they've got a pet man-eater in the basement.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they agree to go and take out.
Yeah. So their job is to let the other guys let the protesters get in there by taking out the man-eater first.
And this, once again, I love what they do with the man-eaters. Everyone has been different. None have been any less lethal. But each have their own form of attack and, you know, way of consuming their prey.
It's I hate it when you get like a creature feature with multiple monsters that are all basically exactly the same thing.
That's why I think the Godzilla franchise has stood the test. And the Toho Godzilla franchise. Every creature was imaginative. Even like how could Mothra work? Then you realize it's spinning, you know, the spinning silk.
Yeah, it's I mean, there have been repeats in Godzilla, but it's always been like the best monsters, you know, Mecha Godzilla, Ghidorah, Mecha Ghidorah. We won't talk about King Kong. We won't talk about the new movies from America.
Oh God, no! That's why I said Toho Studios, because don't even count those horror ones.
And then you get Shin and -1.
I would give Peter Jackson's King Kong a Bible because I watched his the creation process. I understand he feels like somebody with integrity.
Yeah.
And he even managed to get a semi-decent performance out of Jack Black, and that's magician type stuff there.
I'm like about halfway through the film.
That's like getting a plank of wood and actually getting it animated.
Like Jack Black's character? No, don't believe it. He only plays one character, that's Jack Black. It's like I was at like King Kong. The thing that King Kong lost me. There's a scene in a valley where they're being chased by dinosaurs.
Oh, the big long.
And I swear to God, after that chase entered its second hour, I switched it off.
Yeah, that went on too long.
It's kind of like it's a long film because of the filler of that scene with the dinosaur. I still haven't gone back and finished watching it.
Yeah, it's that's where Peter Jackson needs somebody in his ear, you know. Dial that back a bit, you know. He likes the film, but then again, that's like tell me with this podcast, that's only do half an hour. I'd be like, you what?
Half an hour?
Half an hour to talk about anything? What?
It's like this thing where it's like no more than quarter of an hour per episode, you know.
Yeah, no, I'd be broke.
Yeah.
That's why I can't do short form content, because I'm like, what's the point? May as well not bother.
See, it's like you need to be given time to discuss it, even if even the tangents serve their purpose, because we've all kind of like we go through a tangent and then come back to where we'll make a point and then come back to where we were.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
I was joking. There's no way we're going to beat our record for this.
No, they're not even close.
But it's like it's like when they go into the when they're let into like the part of the basement by the conspirator, and they find the man-eater, and it looks like bird poop on the front of a car.
Yeah, I'm thinking cocoons, you know.
Yeah, they look like cocoons on the car, and
and then I think back to the scene with Tao. I'm like, oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Is that
mysterious
what got
lump,
ahead of us?
the mysterious lump.
Yep.
Good, it's like, and then
That's what I just thought they were a grey lump and not black lump. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
seeing the parallels.
yeah, but yes, and it's kind of like right, we'll go around and we'll find them all, and then they find the actual man-eater itself, and it's just kind of like a splat against the wall.
Well, if you've ever seen, what was them bugs called? It's like an old spittle. You ever seen those in the bottom of the leaves?
Oh yeah,
I
cookie
can't remember what
spit.
they're called, but it looks like a bunch of spittle, but it's actually a secretion, and that bug's in the middle.
Spit. It's a leaf hopper or something, I think.
Yeah, it's
or like it actually what it although it was white, what it actually reminded me of, it reminded me of like a ladybird larvae. Because if you've ever seen ladybird larvae, they're one of the most evilest looking things you will ever see in the garden. Because they're kind of like grey with black spots, and they look like a something alien that's crawled out of something. But when the little ones started attacking, damn.
And then obviously before the reveal, we'll see that they've actually been mechanically enhanced.
It's like those jaws, Jesus.
Whoa. Like, is this another experiment?
Oh dear. What is this? What is this? You see, thing is, I know exactly what's going on, but enough about that. And it's like the fact that she shoots one of them and she misses, or rather, she shoots one of them and it has no effect.
Yeah, and then I thought that was her dumb, because like when it bites her foot off, like half her foot
It's
off,
like the first one. The first one literally like bites her arm off, but she can't go anywhere because one of them's grabbed her from behind and it's holding her in place. And then it's like she looks up and it's like Maru's there, like being swamped by them as well. And it's like wow, it's like something's got to save them. Something's got to save them. I didn't expect her to be saved the way she was.
No, that was funny.
I didn't expect the savior to be Maru, because the entire thing that she just witnessed, all the pain she felt, was in her head.
And the fact that this thing actually, its trick is, gets your mind and messes with you.
Yeah.
That's how it defends itself. And you just end up standing there.
Yeah.
Until it cocoons you up and munches on you.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like, how does it feed? What are in those cocoons? It's like, damn you, questions that will never be answered.
I was thinking, like, basically what it does, it comes up, you come within range, you get hypnotized, you stand there in a trance, it comes out of its torpor state, because when it doesn't feed, it goes into like a torpor state.
I remember it.
Prey comes nearby, gets zapped with whatever.
Yeah, I remember it having at least a dozen legs on each side. I've got to be honest. Out of all the man-eaters we've seen so far, I think that one was the worst looking one.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like the bird one at the beginning was just kind of, it was horrific, but it was cool.
And everything else has had like a, this was proper creepy. Like, this is predatory.
Yeah, like the fish one was weird. The the weevil insecty caterpillar tardigrade one that could turn invisible. That was kind of cool in its own way too. But that one was just creepy.
Yep.
Because it's, whereas you could look at someone and, oh yeah, that looks like a bird, that looks like a fish, that looks like a grub of some kind. This one was just like absolutely completely alien. I think it's my favorite one so far.
Yeah, and then the fact that this is all Kuriku's mind, what's playing on her mind about all this stuff. Obviously, it's unlocked. It's amazing what your subconscious has. So she's been thinking about these and experiments and the doctor and everything, and this is all how it manifests. This creature brings it all out. So it's not like she goes into a peaceful, oblivious sleep, like just having a horrible one. Well,
oh god, no! You can imagine it until like literally these things have chewed her apart in her mind, and she just dies of shock. But damn, series just based on that monster, please. That'd be so cool.
That'd be a good horror movie. Just that thing creeping about car parks. Like the underbelly of the city.
I'd pay to see it.
Yeah, cool. But then finally the reveal is in this one we meet Dr. Usumi, and we don't see him until he just walks up.
It's like
then
right at the end, yeah.
Yep, and it's not the Doctor.
No, because when he appears, he's just a person.
Yep.
He's like distinguished middle-aged gentleman wearing an eye patch. I remember him wearing an eye patch, whether I know it was or not. It was
Not a
quite
Henry
late.
Ginger.
I did watch this in a hurry.
Yeah.
But it's like he's there, and they're like, so you wait, you've killed it. You've managed to kill it. Yep, we've killed it. We're looking for Dr. Usami. I'm Dr. Usami.
I really.
And that is basically where the end credit starts.
You know where I had to have such restraint.
And Colin went, no.
I'm like, oh my god, no! If it's right there. I can go to the next episode.
But you see, that's just it. After we finished here, you can watch the next episode if you want to.
Oh yeah, but I couldn't. The whole point of doing it in the two halves and the experience is not just split up, but also these sort of series I'm starting to realize are a mystery. There's a mystery to unlock.
Yes.
I like the fact that we're doing like the first half, and
yeah,
if we both haven't seen it, we've got our suppositions.
Yeah, I guess I like the way that if it's something I know, it's really good fun to hear you come up with like all your ideas, and I think this is tied together. This has got something to do with that. This is going to lead to this. I just like listening to that, and I'm like, oh my friend, you'll find out.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun, and then the next part is obviously
because there's some things in there's some things in the next 6 that call back to things that have happened in the first 7. So I'm interested to see if you pick up on any of those.
I'm going to keep these notes. Normally I delete them afterwards, but I think I'll keep these notes.
I've got a pile of them.
Just it'd be interesting to see what's right, what's wrong. Where was I led astray? Where was I on the ball?
Yeah, but it's
did I pick up the breadcrumbs?
Yeah, it will drive you crazy with the fact that, like I say, there is no, as far as the anime is concerned, there is no conclusion to the story because.
But if it's only the first season and it's still, like I said, we're not just covering old seasons from back in the 2000s.
Right. Okay. As an anime fan, would you like to know the longest I have waited between season 1, a season 1, and a season 2?
Do tell.
19 years.
What was that one?
Spice and Wolf. It's not horror. Because they did Spice and Wolf. They did Spice and Wolf season 1, Spice and Wolf season 2. Then there was a 19-year wait. And instead of doing season 3, they just they rebooted it.
Oh,
I don't mind at all. It's absolutely amazing. They rebooted it with the original animators, the original cast, everything. And it's the remake. The remake is better than the original.
Okay.
It's not horror though, so.
No, it's still. But yeah, you still go back to the start, and that's going to carry on.
It's like there, but it went to the start.
Is it an eternal loop? You only get 2 seasons.
It covered season 1. It covered core 1 covered season 1 and part of season 2. The second core, not the second core. It's the second core covered the rest of season 2, and a load of new stuff. And we already know that the next season is in production. So
okay, because I just thought that'd be torture and an endless loop of a reboot of 2 seasons.
I've got all 25 of the Spice and Wolf novels over there, so I know I finished. I've got the sequel as well, Wolf and Parchment. But there you go. I read far too much. But
I'm genuinely enjoying this one.
Good. I thought you would. I thought you'd enjoy this one because it's like the story is like for somebody who hasn't read any of the books, like Boogie Pop Phantom is great, but it doesn't explain itself. It's like through the, it's almost like if you know nothing of the background material of the season itself, it's like the end of the season. It's like the anime Boogie Pop Phantom keeps itself in the dark. because it doesn't even attempt to explain anything that's going
Yeah,
on.
that's not good from a storytelling perspective.
Whereas this is true storytelling.
Mhm.
Not only is it storytelling, it's pretty high class storytelling at that.
Oh, there's a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on, and you really have to
Mm.
pay attention. And
Mm.
there's nothing wasted. Like, and the characters, like, there's not a character in this I don't like.
Mm.
Like, they don't serve their purpose.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great piece. It's a great
Even
piece.
in the school, the side characters, it's creating the environment, so nothing's wasted there either.
It's like we don't know what they're doing at the school, but whatever it is, it's believable.
Yes,
It's like the school as a functioning unit is believable. It's not a it's not a MacGuffin. It's like it's a full-fledged environment that's been really, really carefully thought out.
yeah. And the study's taking place, but there's obviously shenanigans going on, and we'll hopefully find out.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Well, as far as the season takes you. God, I want a second series of this so bad.
Well, who knows? Maybe bring it back into the zeitgeist again, get people on board. Who knows what will happen? That's the way we do these things as well.
There will be a second series. Nobody knows when. Because it'll probably be when like the anime that did it. I think Production IG. I think it's like they are busy doing stuff all the time. So I think it's one of those things that might wait until like their business slows down a little bit.
But then once again, by bringing things to the zeitgeist, who knows what happens? This could reignite, just starting the conversation again. Bring a few eyeballs on this series if you haven't seen it. Starts the online chatter, and you don't know how quickly I can move things forward.
It's like, do it. You know you want to. Damn it.
Or not. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to be directly involved with having something positive happen. If that makes sense. It'd be nice. I'd love to bring people's attention to something out there that maybe didn't get it the first time or fallen by the wayside and gets picked up again. I think that's what you hope as a commentator, is just that, if you really enjoy something and you didn't expect it and then you share it with people and then people enjoy it too and you don't know where that leads, that's always a cool thing. There you go. There's another one that quite a few tangents, but that's half the fun.
All the tangents made good points.
Yeah. But we're already scheduled. We'll be doing the second half of this. Thanks as always for coming on. Script.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to doing the next half. So because there are a few reveals in the second half of this.
Cool. That'll be
so
fun.
I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on them.
Yeah, I want to know how much I'm on the ball and how much I'm off. I'm genuinely interested because, like I said, I have been enjoying this one. I want to see the story.
I'm not allowed to say anything.
I appreciate that. Well, there you go, folks. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and just as we say, until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.